you bitch.
Oh, you're on. Don't no swearing.
Oh, it's chilly in here. I'm gonna go get a pair of socks or something. You taking the end, the middle, or does it? That don't matter. What's on the end? Spilt the soda. If mine spells it's Powerade, and at least it's clear. Was that the white Powerade? If mine spells it's clear. Or at least white.
So I put this over here. That's it over here. Do you want the doors open or do you want the air on?
I would rather have the air conditioner off because among other things, it's lousy. Lousy, I mean loud. Trust this thing not to dump me. Deepest sympathy for diamonds. Okay, what is it? 7:04. You shut this thing off. Who's texting you? Didn't you just press the sign? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I much less
Kathy, excuse my recording has switch. Later. Okay, we'll call meeting to 7:05. Did everybody review the minutes? June 16th? June 27th, special selectmen's meeting? I move that we approve the minutes on June 16th. And the 27th. All in favor? I guess you can make that motion between this. You don't sign it. I was like, both of them now. Yeah, but you don't sign them as a select board member because you're not a select board member in June 16th, right? Absolutely correct. Okay, just, yeah, just check. All in favor?
No, I need a second.
Need a second.
All in favor? Good.
I can sign
You don't
just
need to
for the
sign that one.
27th.
Right, sorry. I'm just. You have any passes. Okay. We will review the wages, 22, 23.
I gave you updated ones, they were on the table because the maintenance was supposed to be 15 an hour.
Oh, God, your name is on there.
And I didn't have emergency management director in there. And I have two options, I left them on your table.
All right. Two options.
Well, we budgeted extra for beach monitoring. I don't know if you wanna pay it all to a constable as a stipend.
Well, I think that's gonna depend on who we hire and who we hire for beach manager, isn't it?
Alright, so you wanna just, I'll cross that off for now.
It kind of depends, you know, if we hire a constable who, you know, I mean, I think we need to discuss that in the.
Between the two.
Yeah, you know,
And the way they handle it in Poland, which they have an attendant there,
right,
is the attendant does not have scheduled hours. It's intermittent when they check the passes so that they can catch people or ensure that people are bringing their passes and getting them. So versus someone just sitting there waiting for people to come. So it was interesting to hear another town that says this is the best procedure. They've tried it both ways and they do better, more people with their permits if they don't know when that is.
they have
Attendant's
no
gonna
idea
be
when,
there.
when the attendant's gonna be there.
Yep.
Sure, because otherwise people skirt around.
Right.
I
So
mean,
maybe you can just give the constable more of a stipend instead of hiring another person.
I think we're
it
gonna
would
have to be
depend, it's
hard
gonna depend on
challenged
who
to-
we get for his constable. You know, and I think we need, I think, in fact, Kathy, I'd like to see us for our next meeting, put the subject of a constable on the agenda so we can actually discuss that.
All the applications in?
It's on this agenda.
Yeah.
Will we be able to adjust that?
Yeah, we'll just have you sign.
Pending.
the new one.
The new constable and versus a parking attendant, not parking, a beach attendant. So if we go one way or another, we don't have to decide on that tonight.
Yeah, I can just put a line through those
Yeah,
two.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I mean, when I look at the second page, it has constable and beach monitor as separate positions. I think that makes better sense for us.
But if the constable does it, we can't pay him a stipend and hourly wage according to Christine Mumau.
This is also true, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the same person.
Right.
On the other hand, it means
Might be
finding the
two
right person.
different people.
It might be two different people, it might very well be two different people. So maybe we should put that particular wage on hold until we know who we got, because we don't know who we got.
Right. I think, but I also think that we're in the driver's seat. So if we're hiring a
And
constable,
how
we
many,
put it
how
under
many
their
people have
responsibilities.
applied to be a constable?
2, I believe.
Mhm. Yeah, I know of at least one person because that person approached me, so I know who that person is.
And I know who the other person is.
Here you go. Well, it depends on who we're hiring. We're not actually hiring tonight.
Right.
So is it
But if we
possible?
can put it under one budget and then have that beach monitor kind of report to that constable. Then you can keep it under one.
We didn't advertise for beach monitor separately, but
I would think that whoever we hire for a constable, we would add that to their responsibilities.
It depends on who you get by a lot.
I mean, they're not gonna be able to just go up there on weekends.
When you put this out for somebody to take this job, did you tell them what their responsibilities were?
We haven't met with them yet.
yes.
Yes, but did the people who applied for the job receive a copy of job description?
I had it on the wall, I had
Yeah.
it on Facebook, I
Okay.
had it on the website, so then I emailed it,
Okay,
and it said beach monitoring. Keeping the peace.
So it's all in the constable.
mhm.
should be able to do it all with one person. It just comes and goes.
Well, we budgeted an extra 20 days at 8 hours a day for the year. But it doesn't have to be 8 hours every day. It can-
Right.
Just
we
more
work it out?
hours to monitor.
Could be 4.
It would be nice to get somebody that lives right next there to do the job.
Yeah, I think we need to work on that more.
In other words,
Decide.
do you want to wait until we figure out who we're gonna have in order to make the determination? That's a little tough
Yeah,
on the person not knowing what they're gonna be,
yeah,
you know, what
see
they're
what they,
shooting for.
see what they think.
You know, I don't know that it's up to the employee. I mean,
No,
it seems to me that it's gotta be up to the select board no
yeah,
matter
I
what.
know that, but
Usually you bring them in for an interview.
yeah, we do.
Count on it.
So do we read these wages out loud to them? Or-
To who? No, I don't know that we have- I don't remember ever reviewing it out loud. You know, like I said, there's two choices. You know, I feel like if we were to take option number one, which is just to pay the constable $3,900 a year, then we don't have the option of hiring some other person who might be able to attend to it better. The constable job is not, I mean, it's $3,900 a year. That is not a full-time position.
Oh, absolutely. not.
And so I guess I'm concerned that, you know, we've yet to have a constable who can actually be down there all the time, and that splitting the hours with somebody who could actually act as a beach monitor might make a lot of sense.
Mhm.
That's my take on it. I mean,
What is the goal with these tonight? Is this something we have to pass tonight?
But we can pass out and review it next meeting.
Well, I think that we should go in with the constable with a higher wage, and then we can redo it after talking to the,
yeah, but if that's what we're offering, aren't we bound to that? I mean, we can't, you know, just put horses in the middle of the stream either, I don't think. Or maybe I'm wrong.
First, you gotta bring him in for, find out what he wants, and what's going on.
I'm not sure it's about what they want.
You can't just offer him a whole bunch of money, you already know what you're gonna do.
You gotta find a job.
right, there is a job description already in place that's posted here.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what we'll do, Leanne. We'll cross them two and then we can talk about it next meeting. Can I make a motion that we cross the constable and the beach monitor off
Or
and talk about it the next
to be
meeting?
determined.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Need a second on that?
And then keep everything else the same?
Yes.
Did you
Okay,
want a second
I'll
one?
second that.
All in favor?
So if one of you guys cross it off and sign.
Did you do that already, Kathy?
Yeah.
Okay. Here too.
Here you go. Thank you.
Where's the warrant?
Yeah, looking at them.
Passing this around. Town of Buckfield, boy, you get a lot of folks from Buckfield registering cars, huh?
Getting-
This one still has Lori Swan's name printed on it.
Okay. Okay, adapt
It's
that.
okay, you can scratch that
I
out.
can. Yes, I can.
Glance at it.
There's a warrant number 31 also from prior year that I got.
Right, that probably is the one that I was talking about.
I'm still waiting for bulky waste bill.
That's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be just wonderful.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Please.
Yeah,
Is there a sign on the town hall with the meetings here?
No.
Because there are some people who are planning to come.
I can see.
How far down is the signature piece?
No, I think you just went past it. It's not very far, it's only very few pages.
You.
We're all done. Hello, all done.
This is the one you have not signed yet.
probably.
Altogether,
It's a monster.
it is a monster. There we go.
Is that the only? Do that later. I had a rumor today.
Oh, and you're gonna spread it at the select board meeting? Better be a good one.
I heard that Jeremy bought the store on Sumner.
Nice.
The one on the sharp turn?
Yeah.
Well, somebody had to do something with it.
I don't know how true it is. Maybe Ben.
Well, don't be spreading it until you know it's true.
C and Brown used to supply fuel there for several of the different folks. that,
Numerous, yeah.
Attemptees.
And unfortunately, that store has changed ownership more than some people changed the car.
It's a tough location.
Simply, and yet it's so critical. I can't tell you how many times I pulled in there on fumes and it didn't have gas. Kathy came and saved me one time. She brought a can.
Yeah.
Gas after we went back to the garage and got a can of gas so that I could keep rolling. That was pathetic.
Okay, we all set. We reviewed warrant 30, 21, 22, warrant 1, 22, 23. and payroll warrants of June 22nd, 22. Warrant 31 and warrant 31. In a second. Yes.
Say, say something along the line of, I move we pass as,
Oh, red.
or as, yeah. As, yeah, I say, I usually
I-
used to say as submitted because.
I assume we pass this as read.
Second,
All in favor? Good. Reports. RSU 10 report. We have any? None?
nothing from the peanut gallery on Zoom.
We have many on there?
I'm here for I believe the school board is done meeting until August.
Meeting in August.
And I think that the last meeting, as I recall, was just more griping about the school board and all of that stuff. Nothing that amounted to anything.
Okay.
Okay, good. Road report.
We have a road report here.
You're a second.
That's why I know he said he was gonna do it. Ben,
He was.
He was.
Ben's still here?
We're at road report. Oh, okay.
Huh?
Just took a phone call.
Well, I have to say, I've been on Perry Road and it's like a beautiful super highway compared to
What it
how it
was?
was.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I don't spill my coffee, my teeth don't rattle,
Mhm.
I don't have to wear a sports bra. It's actually really a great road now. I know we're gonna pave it too, but it was bad.
You plan on paving it pretty soon.
Well, I think he has to wait for the paving crew.
Yeah.
He's already requested it, but
Yeah.
we're on the list.
Here he comes anyway. So we're talking about when is the Perry Road gonna get paved?
One is the Perry Road.
Yeah,
Oh, it may be another month and a half.
yeah.
That's good.
I was just saying it's a beautiful road.
They said if they could work us in ahead of time, they will, but they're looking more another 6 weeks.
Good.
It needs to set anyway. We dug up.
Yeah. It's a good idea to let it settle. Okay, yeah, I saw.
We're gonna put some surface gravel on there
Yeah,
for grading.
yeah, nice. I haven't been down that way for a little bit, but I'll be looking forward.
Yeah, you should put it on.
I was on it. today,
I will in
just
my
like you
spare
guys.
time, promise.
Boy, and it's wide on that turn. That's super nice. You
Yeah.
know, the sharp turn where you couldn't see somebody coming and it was so narrow.
Down where the wedges were.
Yeah,
Yeah, we hauled a long wedge out.
boy, I met a car the other day and I wasn't stressed out because often you can run that turn. I ride the edge as close as I can, worried I'm gonna meet a truck or something. And
As soon as they move that telephone pole, it'll be even better.
so much better now. but
That
yeah.
can take a long time sometimes.
Road contracts. You have some of those?
So the new ones are on top. You can just keep them separate. Last year's are in these.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Can I please grab a seat for you?
I'm gonna take this over. Because the other things I was feeling my pocket.
It was chilly when we first arrived.
Oh, man. It's chilly, and everything is like, one, I'm set in the pocket like a slide, but I can't if I'm wearing a shirt over it. great idea on city streets to keep us from getting robbed, but. So are you looking at last year's as well?
It's been,
It's the same. Same as last year, which is going some. Where's the radius? You know. Then gravel's gone up a little bit, and so is gravel. But you know, an awful lot of those prices have come steady, which is
Thank
kind of,
God.
well, it's kind of amazing considering everything.
Doing construction projects.
Yeah.
We got her.
This is last year's.
Yep.
We'll peel that open so I can stay in there. She did ask us to keep them separate, and I'm doing the best I can. Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that.
We put that date on there. Is there a date on the new one?
Yeah, it would be helpful to have the year on the top so you can not mess up. I'll just write.
The contract date's not on there, but,
It's probably on the,
Maybe it's on the back, but on the front they all look very similar. Just the date that.
right.
yeah, we didn't go up that one.
it should be right on the first page, right here.
Yep. Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, but
Okay. It's pretty close.
Pretty close to same.
Next year is going down. She's going some. Yeah,
I don't have mine.
that's a bit like, thank you.
These here old. I don't see any new ones.
Did you have any other new ones? Just the two new ones or some other? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, David.
No, how much did he go up?
Yeah, that's the same. And then the other guy. And David.
Yeah,
No,
that's last year.
last year's.
Yes. So that's just about the same as last year, so I'll say again. So, everybody is on this. is Huge powwow at one point about, contracting everything out, and we decided to go with, essentially Buckfield style of contractors, is to do it this way rather than bidding out all of our roadworks to one in a given year. Gives the road commission the flexibility to hire somebody that
Better
they,
pricing.
well, better pricing, and it gives the road commissioner a little bit better flexibility to find the people who can do the work at a given time.
Okay, so that's a new one.
That's
Right?
the new one, yeah. say it. Prices on them aren't all that much, any of them. Considering the price of fuel is kind of amazing, as far as I can tell.
We're all about the same.
Here, here's the old one. They're all remarkably close to the same. I kind of expected some sticker shock. Really?
Oh. Yeah. Each one.
I'll make some motions on. I move we approve the McNeil Farms contract.
Second it.
All in favor? Say all in favor.
No, all in favor. Good. I make a move, we accept Johnson's excavation contract.
I second it.
All in favor? And I make a motion, we accept David Bragg's contract.
Second it.
All in favor? And we make a motion to accept NATO LLC,
Nadco,
NATCO.
I second that.
All in favor? Okay, we got that. CEO. Anything?
Yeah, report.
we have a
It's here.
report here.
Oh, yeah.
See
The
that?
building permits are way down. Plumbing permits are
Also down. not as
down, but
much.
holding a little more steady.
Hmm.
And he did go and check on the complaint of Pinewood Road. No, at our last regular select board meeting, I mentioned this being a problem, and I had texted Jeff Stern, who told me that he was working with these folks to help them with help them
Individual
help
grant process. for-
yeah, the individual grant process to, because there is grant monies available for property owners to help them address
Preventing,
erosion problems, and that road is an erosion problem.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the report for the code enforcement officer.
We usually just immediately call it one.
There we go.
I don't remember instead of making a motion and accepting the code officer before.
Great.
Okay, ACO report.
No, she told you.
No, she didn't.
No, no,
It's
no.
good to talk with her. It's good.
Yeah, I like being able to touch bases.
Planning board report, anything?
They had minutes from the June 6th meeting. I believe copies, and they came out. I think I did separate copies of it.
Thank you. Code officer report is the same. It's a little stunned that they met on July 4th.
Mhm.
It seems to me,
Too.
it seems to me that municipal functions should not be
Right.
held on the nation's favorite holiday, or really any holiday.
Yeah.
If the town office is closed, seems to me that
Evidently, there's one here, open complaint with David Walker. Evidently, that's not settled yet.
no, he was just telling about it.
Oh.
You know it's settled because we talked about it
Yeah,
minutes ago.
okay.
Almost sounds like Guinness.
There's no ordinance committee reports. They didn't meet. Yeah.
They won't be meeting until.
Nothing on the ordinance committee?
Well,
We
they've
meet
done,
the 19th at 7.
they meet the 19th at 7, but they have not received orders from the select board as to what
Correct.
they're
Yeah.
working on yet, so.
Yeah.
No fire warden? Treasurer report?
Uh,
Got this.
When we get to appointments, we do have somebody who is willing to serve as fire warden, unless we appointed him last time.
No,
We do have someone who's willing to serve as fire warden.
yeah, we did appoint him last time,
We did?
didn't we?
No.
No, we
No,
did
I
not.
think we did not.
Nobody's none was in.
His name
Fire
is
warden.
Baxter Tardif is the guy's name. He lives on,
I don't think you did because.
no, I don't believe we did.
Nope,
I don't
no,
believe we
okay,
did.
I
I
just
think
knew he
we,
was
I think we
interested.
held it for this meeting. We had so many appointments. We put off whatever we
Okay.
could.
Yep.
Anyways, that could be for appointments time. But we do have somebody who lives on Town Farm Road, who is a volunteer with the Canton Fire Department, who's willing to serve as fire warden.
Okay, we wait that down below.
Under appointments, right?
Yeah.
We have 2 expense reports, one for prior year, one for this first week.
Right. So I don't expect you, you're not expecting me to look at this meeting and absorb it all, but there it is. The reports. Thank you for that, Nina.
Calendar reminders.
Ordinance committee on the 19th.
Yep. That's about it, ain't it?
Well, imagine there's quite a few things on the calendar.
Railroad bed workshop.
Railroad bed
One's after the
workshop.
Next meeting, so that's why.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, but it's an important thing to remember about, so.
Unfinished business, bulky waste sticker refund policy. We
Last
had
meeting,
that.
it was suggested that once you bought your bulky waste sticker, that it's yours.
Right.
Yep. I agree. Because even if it gets picked, if it hadn't, we would be disposing of it. And the end result for the person is they,
I don't
It's
think we should
gone.
refund them.
right?
We
I
already
don't think-
did, just.
We have,
Did, yes.
we have done it in the past. On the other hand, I mean, that's one of the things about the select board is that we are in a position to reevaluate some of the decisions we've made in the past and sometimes change our mind.
Yeah.
You know, given more information or given a stronger sense of reality or whatever it was.
How you guys feel about changing it?
Changing it,
Not refunding their stickers like like the individual bought some for the tires and someone come pick the tires up before bulky waste showed up.
right, or somebody stole the stickers off to put on their own tires or something like that. It could happen. In particular, I think we've had
As long as they're
had
gone.
issues with people who put out a refrigerator or an AC or something like that, and then somebody came along and took their appliance and they lost their sticker, but you know, all they really wanted was to have it gone,
Right.
and it's
That's
gone. But so here's the thing, you know, I guess what I would suggest is that I guess I would suggest that we have a policy of not making a refund for these, but that we advise people not to put the sticker on until the night before bulky waste, because, you know, well, there you go. There you go. So, you know,
I think more like a buyer beware.
Yeah,
They
I
put it
think
out
that-
there, they put the sticker on
you
or
could
whatever,
lose stuff.
bought
Yeah,
it. and-
you could lose stuff.
And the goal
Yeah.
was to get rid of it and it was gone.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, so somebody could put that in the form of a motion.
I make a motion that we do not refund stickers for the
Once
bulky
purchased,
waste
right.
pickup. Anybody second it?
I second it.
Oh, all in favor? Didn't hear you. Foreclosures, tax year 2019.
Oh, baby.
A whole bunch of them.
Yeah, boy, I'll say.
Checked all the lien certified from when the liens were put on.
Mhm.
Everything's there. Some weren't deliverable, like my 45-day foreclosure notices weren't deliverable.
Right,
But we sent them all the receipts. They all look good.
so. So this is it at this time is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
What is our goal with this?
Well, any properties that in this, what I want you to know about foreclosure,
Mhm.
tax foreclosure is, we don't foreclose on people. Foreclosure is automatic. If you haven't paid your taxes for 2 years, that third year forecloses.
Yep.
And once it's foreclosed, we don't have the option of saying, yeah, you can just pay us for that year and then you're only 2 years behind. Once it forecloses, we would have to have
All 3 years.
all
Yep.
of the years, plus the lien costs and registry of deed costs, et cetera, et cetera. So there's, there's some, not fines, mind you, but replacing other costs.
Yep.
And so what we've done in the past is anyone who has their home foreclosed can come to us and
So no payment plan or whatever.
well, we can't say the payment plan exactly, not at all, because we have to have the whole of it, although they could pay it in installments of their own choosing, but we would have to have all of it, and usually we have to talk to the individual, and we've agreed, generally speaking, unless it was like an empty piece of property, an empty piece of property sometimes has a different reality, but if it's somebody's home in particular, we've always
Want to make
said-
every effort.
said we want to make every effort to make sure they can keep it, and so they have generally until we commit taxes, which is going to be in October.
Okay.
And that gives us then at least the whole rest of the summer to
Yep.
cough up the job. I mean, we really don't have much choice on this.
Sure. So tonight, we're just supposed to review this because I've already done that, but is there any vote need to be taken on this or just move it
I
forward?
think it just is what it is.
Mm,
Right, Leanne?
How do you move forward?
How do we want to move forward?
Do you want to put them out to bid?
Well,
Because what Sue was asking.
Give them one more chance to come forward on a certain date and then go up to
so
bid.
all of these people you've tried to contact, I'm pretty sure that the account number 930 is not living in their, from the third one down. It's not living in their
I
home,
contacted the numbers.
and they said,
One of them said there's $1 million lien on it from the state of Maine, and the other one returned, didn't claim it.
phew.
It's vacant.
But that's what I say, I don't think that person is around. Is the 323 one, the one we discussed the other day? Is that,
Can't find him.
well, we know we can't find him, but is that the one that is on Mahoney
Taken.
Road?
No,
No. We don't take any rain.
that's the only return receipt card I haven't received back yet from the person who's financing that. In
Okay,
Florida. It's the
Okay.
only one I haven't, but I have proof I sent it.
right. So, all of the individual places. Are any of these actually dwellings where somebody is staying at this time?
No.
Nobody's staying in.
Yeah, most of them look like they're not.
There's still a flag up in the picture. I don't know what that picture is, but And there's a car in the picture.
I think there's a camera, which one are you looking at?
When I reviewed them
The one
earlier
on
today.
Church Street, who passed away, and for their sons.
This one. I just saw that it had a truck and a flag, two
Where's that one
flags.
located?
This one is, it could be Church Street.
That looks like Church
yeah.
Street, all right.
There's two on Church Street, but
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're not, if nobody's dwelling in any of them, I guess I feel like, I don't like Michael Whittemore, that's probably Whittemore's place, right?
Someone's
Must be-
staying there,
must
aren't they?
No,
Staying at Whittemore's? I
No.
don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
On Church Street?
They are.
Yeah, they
Someone
are.
staying there?
Yeah.
Do you know who?
I went by there the other night and there's lights on, cars in the dooryard.
Well, I'm going right by there tonight, although I'm not gonna.
You are?
It's not the dog.
Probably 40-ish. With a couple little kids.
Hi, caramba.
I was gonna say it could be squatters.
Yeah,
On
I
that
know
one,
this.
You may want to give them another 30 days and I'll notify them if they're renting or.
I mean, it's still foreclosed regardless,
Right.
but yeah, that's why, okay, I just want to know if anybody's dwelling in any of these places, because if somebody's actually living in them, I don't like the idea of,
Well, they may not know if they're renting from somebody and paying somebody else.
but if we were to put it out, if we were to put it out, to put any of these places out to bid, there's a fair amount of process involved, when would bids be due?
That's me.
I am,
That's up to you.
I'd say you put bids, call for bids in August and have them go through September 15th and then review them. If the families haven't come forward by October, that's when the next bills go out, correct?
well,
What do
well,
you
that,
mean when families come forward?
I know that we
yeah,
want people.
heirs
to-
or assigns,
So you're gonna put it out to bid?
Oh, you already own them.
yeah, we already own them.
And you said none of the families live in them, except for we don't know this guy, so the people that are living in that other one, if it's even family.
I mean, that's like I say, I just want to be sure that, I'd like to know what's going on with our property.
I already owns it, then we just have to send an eviction notice.
Oh, let the new owner deal with it.
I think Dave's probably right on that.
It is.
I think the less legal grief we put ourselves in, the better. I like it.
Fair enough.
But that said, it would be
Well, we're
nice
gonna, do we have to set a certain date? Because I don't want what happened last time.
If people are gonna put time and effort into bidding, then
Right,
that should
and they
be,
don't get it.
right. And they're the ones who had the highest
Well,
bid, then we ought to be following through to make
Right.
sure they do get it.
The question is, do you want to give them one last ditch chance to pay, or do you want to plan to put it out to bid? They've had many chances, but
Do we know that they've gotten the notices?
some came back unclaimed, some were undeliverable, throughout the years.
Right,
because they've been getting tax bills
right.
all along.
Have we put a notice on the house or anything? or brought- No.
Lenny's over here in the corner. It's hard to see.
What, Leanne? I mean, Lenny?
We discussed this at length
We did.
when in the process of the administrative ordinance. I don't happen to have that with me,
Yeah.
but we talked, there was a long discussion about whether or not we wanted to allow the owners to come at the last minute
yeah, I
and
don't,
grab it, and we didn't like
No.
that, and I believe we changed the language, and the ordinance was approved, so we'd have to follow it.
I think at the time when we did that, I know Bim had several comments about giving people at least one last chance, but
Yeah.
I don't know what that last
Sure.
chance is.
Sure.
should be before we open bids.
Do you want to look at that, or that that paragraph in the
She's
ordinance.
looking it up.
It should be before you put it out.
Maybe, yeah.
An actual notice on the home,
That's what I was thinking, a notice on the home.
if there's someone there with their kids, maybe they have no idea.
That's
that
what
they're
I was
paying
thinking.
rent To someone.
Right. Or a family member said, yeah, you can go live there, and
Right.
Sure, I'm
They
not
don't
doing
know.
anything with the place. Go ahead. You know, housing being what it is.
Right. but-
So I can't help but concern myself.
That's
with
fine,
it.
Leanne.
Okay,
Oh.
Leanne has something to say.
Any real property which the town may acquire for non-payment of taxes shall be sold through a sealed bid process conducted at the discretion of the select board. The select board shall have the right to retain for any purpose and on behalf of the town, any property deemed to be in the town's interest. Upon the order of the select board that a bid process shall be conducted, the former owners shall be notified by certified mail.
I'm ready.
Again?
Yeah.
Again,
How much back taxes do they owe?
Oh, you
They're
know,
all
we got
different.
9 different ones here.
No,
that's
that
just for
one-
1 year.
We got 9 different
That's
ones.
just for 1 year.
Right, right. Well, you know, if I look at each individual one,
right,
goes back a ways. One is $809. Another one is $4,057.33. And another one is $485.
That's all on this piece of property?
Different properties, there's
Several
not-
pieces of
there's
property.
9 of them. There's
9.
9 of them, man. Another one is $2,635.81. Another one is $3,104. And yet another one is $1,889.09. $3,201.47. $3,823.91.
Excuse me, if you-
4,900.
If you read C, we did change it. In the
Yes.
event full payment is not received within the time frame set by the select board, a notice of tax acquired properties for sealed bid sale shall be advertised. So their last chance is before sealed bid is advertised. I was quite sure we had changed it.
Well, that's why I'm thinking if we could put a notice on every home of some sort and say, this is the date we're setting sealed bids.
This has certified mail, doesn't say anything.
Oh.
Go ahead,
Does
Dave.
say we have to, which is,
I'm just trying to be respectful for the people that
No,
might
no,
be
no,
living
I
in
hear
there.
ya. Well, you know, particularly in the case where there's clearly nobody living there, then I'm not sure there's much point to it, but in case where somebody appears to be staying there, it might be the better part of, well,
The
kindness.
state laws about removing squatters.
Dave's got something to say.
Yeah,
So just, if you put it out the bid, just in the wording in the bid process, make sure that you make reference to if anyone is living there or whatever, it's their own.
Their responsibility.
It's
of the
their
bidder to
responsibility,
remove
not
the
the tenants.
tenants.
So just make sure you cover yourself.
wash our hands of it ahead of time.
That's the easiest way for you.
Thank you, Leanne, for making up these packets. I'll remind the committee members. Come get theirs. I'm their mother after all.
so it does say in the new ordinance that they have to send out one more certified letter.
Yeah,
Before the bid
And-
process.
and announce the bid process in there, I think is what we asked.
Yep.
So the bid
Yeah,
process
you know,
starts
I
on this
don't
date.
recall, I don't ever recall that the town in any capacity has gone and posted a notice on a home.
No, I bet they haven't. I was just trying to,
No,
for those folks like. the-
no, it says Christine.
no.
It's Christine, right? Yeah,
Yes.
Christine was the one who suggested it. It
I
seems to me that's not an unreasonable, it's not an unreasonable idea, although who exactly would do that, I don't know.
What?
Or double team,
What's that?
double team. We could go to the
Find
properties
out.
and leave
Yeah,
a notice
yeah,
sort of,
print
find
up
out.
something that said something like, you know, this
Property now belongs to.
you know,
town
or
of
you could
Hartford.
say, this is the property of the town of Hartford, you know.
Sealed bids are
Yeah.
being accepted.
Well,
Just
no,
point out.
because you'd have to notice people before that, but you know, this is the property of the town of Hartford and will be sold for back taxes if, you know. Yep, and contact this, the board of selectmen.
So when do you want them to reply by? What's the deadline?
So I think that if we open up the,
Before the end of August.
I was thinking if we could get them out in the next week or two, then we could start the bidding process in August and close it in September.
Get them out and get the people out?
No, get the letters out.
It just takes a little bit for the cards to come back.
But, yeah, I mean, you know, it's all, everything takes a while. I mean, it would be nice to get it, you know, it would be nice to get it together before it's time to, get it all taken care of before it's time to commit taxes again.
Right, that's what I was
Well,
trying to
you-
back
Which will
into
be in
the October
which will be
date.
in October.
According to this, you set the time frame.
That's right, well, that's what we're talking about right now.
I mean, would they need more than 2 weeks?
We just kind of want to, you probably want to put it out to bid before you commit taxes too, right?
Right,
Well,
absolutely,
that's what I'm
that's what we
saying. So
mean.
that's why she says saying the end of August, that gives us September. Maybe that's not, maybe end of August isn't enough time for the town to get everything together. Although we don't usually commit taxes early in October, sometimes it's later, but
Right,
If
so we need a
somebody,
deadline.
if you're gonna put these piece of property out to seal bid, wouldn't you think that the person who's buying is gonna go look at the property?
we like to
Then-
think
then he's
so.
gonna knock on the door and say, you don't
This-
have to do it like.
This
you
is
said."
usually the case. This is usually the case, although God knows, not always. Especially these days. You just don't know.
End of August?
Seal bid end of August?
No, they have until the end of August to come forward.
I think that's too late.
You think so?
I do, because then we have to announce the bidding, and
We
if
got
you allow 30
till,
days for bidding, that's September, and
we got to what? December, isn't it? Next taxes.
You hold
No.
certified letters for 15 days.
We commit the taxes in
to be
October.
projected.
Okay.
So at least
It's usually at the end of
20
October
days,
and
they're
they
gonna
try to
get
get the
ready.
taxes out
Right.
sometime in November, so. people
well, you
can
know the
start paying them
process
in
here.
December.
How much time before we could get them out, and what are the cards returned to you? You do return receipt that they,
Right, but they hold on, like, they have 15 days to pick them up from the post office, and then they send them back to me if they're unclaimed.
gotcha.
Because they always have to be picked up.
No,
at
it's
the post
almost the
office
middle of
because-
July
Well,
now.
I think they get a notice that there's certified mail waiting for them at the post office and they have to find time in their busy day to
Yep.
get to the post office, which
These days,
nowadays,
post
it-
office is never open.
I'll tell you why.
Well, the fifteenth of August is kind of quick, isn't it?
It is close.
Kind of
It's kinda
quick, I mean,
close.
on their part. Trying to,
On the family's part, whoever gets the notice.
trying to get their crap together.
So maybe August 30th is right. I just think we're getting really close to the commitment date. And they've already all gotten notices. It's not like this is their
And they
first
send
one.
them regular mail too, so the
Yeah.
owner of that one on Church Street has a copy.
Right, so the point is, if people have to figure out sometime if they can actually get to the post office when the post office is actually open, which is going some, then that's really challenging. But if they've had it by regular mail as well, then presumably they had a chance to know
Right.
about it.
So I think if we send it out as a last ditch effort, their last chance to get it together, that we give them till like August 15th and then we get the sealed bids.
Well, and, you know, they have to, I would assume that they would be notified that this property is now the
Right.
property, this is now the property of the town of Hartford.
So August 15th.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we'll accept bids after that, and for what do we do that for, 30 days?
We got a question.
Go ahead.
Thank you. No, we can't.
Where do you guys post this? Where are they posted? On
Sun
Facebook?
Journal Legal ads, and I'll put them on our website.
Okay.
On the website and,
I think
and
you have to post it twice within 7 days.
We'll have it available here too, if people want to come in and see which ones.
Oh, yeah, all packets.
So
right, you know,
it's an
so,
awful thing for anybody. anyway, but we need to move this forward.
Well,
There's
you
some
know,
of these.
and
that
some of these
are really
properties,
old.
some of these properties are properties where somebody lived for a while and they are just no longer there and not. You know, these are our like, you know, some kind of decrepit trailers and
Yeah.
like, at least some of them are.
Yeah.
Ones that nobody's living in and nobody cares about, nor has for a long, long time.
Yeah.
The chances are pretty good that will buy it for the property, not for the trailer that's on. it.
Right,
And
yes,
to be stuck
exactly.
with the removal of
Yeah.
what's possibly a moldy old hunker.
Okay, do we have to set a date for when we're gonna put them out to bid?
No.
No, okay.
Do you wanna make a motion about that deadline, August 15th?
I'd like to make a motion that we get the certified letters out in the mail and that by August 15th, they need to respond.
I second it.
Before the seal bid process starts.
All in favor? Good. Next. Swimming lesson season passes.
Okay, so in the packets, we've got what Leanne gave us, which is the information on the beach. I gave you all, and Lee got the information from the legal department.
Thank you so much.
And then I printed off things from 3 different towns that have town beach, and one of the towns is open. This is in that big.
I left it on the table. Wasn't in copy.
Right,
What's
of course.
that?
No, I understand that.
Legal.
Oh, here we go. Great, thank you for that.
And then, what I did from, the 3 towns that have started with the Turner Beach.
Right, thank you for that.
Just to review, if I can find a copy. The Turner Beach is only open for Turner residents. There is a fee of $15.
Who's that?
Ramsey, could you mute, please? You can't mute her from there? No? You can't mute her from there? Oh. Well,
So, the way the town of Turner handles their beach is that they charge a $15 fee for residents, and that $15 fee goes to pay for part of the attendant that's there, as well as upkeep and things that they have, locks and the gates and stuff.
Mhm.
So, but it's $15 annually. The Turner resident or Turner taxpayer must accompany guests while at the beach. The beach is open Friday from Memorial Day through Labor Day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They do not have
so
an attendant there all the
Labor Day,
time.
it's closed, it's closed?
Yep.
Nobody can go swimming after Labor Day?
Correct, the gates are closed. Well,
Yes, but they're
good
not
thing you don't
doing
live in Turner.
Bear Pond, you're not doing it at Bear Pond Park either.
And they, they after the fact, they made that beach.
So
So-
Pismo, they made
Yeah.
that beach? Oh, that
You know what I
beach is
mean? They
there.
cut it out and
Yeah,
fenced
okay,
it
but
in.
that's
and-
been there for a long
Yeah,
time.
but you
And
knew what I meant.
I guess so. So I see that you put
Pismo
on
Beach and Oxford,
Oxford
yeah.
here, Pismo Beach and Oxford, residents only and taxpayers. Guests are welcome as long as they come with the residents. Beach open from 8 to 8 p.m. seasonally, but they don't charge anything?
They do not charge anything. They do have to have,
A
well,
sticker of some sort?
they have a sticker or a card that they get at the town
And
office.
does somebody monitor their beach?
So they have someone within the rec department that goes down and checks people and makes sure that the cars have their
Have
notices
a
in
sticker,
there.
yeah.
So I also want to tell you that Pismo Beach in Oxford, there was a big to-do in 2017 and 18. The select board voted that let's try to open this and let's see what the voters think. And when the voters voted, they said, we do not want this open to the public. They made some specific rules for the new hotels. So that they have a amount of passes because they're tax holders but not residents. So like if someone's staying at the casino hotel or the Hampton Inn Hotel, they have like 6 passes that they can go down and use Pismo Beach. but they have to be returned, and it says that it's from the hotel.
So the passes, it's a little bit like getting the key to the restroom at a gas station. You have
It
to bring
is.
it back.
Correct.
Got a
So,
big
but-
old tag on it and you
Yeah.
gotta bring it back. Yeah,
So
okay.
there was a big to-do about opening it up, because a lot of people had taken swim lessons and a lot of things like that. But the residents voted it down, so it's still resident only, and when they have guests, they have to accompany their guests. But they do not charge,
Right.
they do need a pass. And then Poland has 2 town beaches. The residents do not pay. They voted to open up their beaches to the public, except for the public has to pay. It's red pass is $5 just for a day. It's a carload of people. And then a blue pass is a season's pass for $50. And they put that money right back into the attendants from the rec department that go in, and they're actually volunteers. And for beach pickup and for signage, the money all goes back into the rec department to maintain the beaches.
Mhm.
And they have 2. And some of the things they have to do is grade the road, because on Connor Lane Road, I talked to the rec director today. Connor Lane Road is a dirt road, and it tends to get where people are spinning out and
Oh, well,
moving in and out
a lot of
of the,
traffic, it'll do a number
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
so the rec department has agreed that they would pay for, so some of those fees are for grading, and it goes back in. So those were 3 beaches. I just wanted to share what other towns are
Mhm.
doing. I found it
Yes, thank you for
interesting.
that.
Yep, that Oxford,
Oxford residents
that
decided.
Oxford residents decided not
But
to.
they- but
even-
they still allow this hotel pass key.
Yeah,
thing.
and people can bring guests, but they have to be with their guests
Mhm.
at every site that we went. that I found.
Okay.
I have
At our
my
last-
hand- Kathy, I
Hmm?
have my hand up.
Good, what,
I did some research as well. Now, Trip Lake, anybody can go. Which is in Poland. And Canton Lake over here, of course. And Canton Beach, anybody can go.
Yeah, both of those are right roadside.
Pennsylvania is
Yeah.
Norway's. It's beautiful.
Brett's
There's
Pond,
parking.
Bretton's Pond.
Yeah, Bretton's Pond. So, the ones that you chose are kind of closed. But,
Well, I was trying to compare them to town beaches,
right.
of towns that have their own beach for town
Right.
purposes.
Yeah.
But as you just said, there's lots of other beach
Well,
options that
Norway
people can
has
go to.
Kennesawassee, but Livermore has Bretton's, those are also town beaches.
Yeah,
is my
where
point.
boat launches at Bretton's.
At our
Some
last
of the
meeting,
towns would.
the beach had come up. And Lee had called the town, got a hold of the town lawyer, asking him questions.
The Maine Municipal Association.
Oh, it was,
Yes.
okay.
Not the, we,
Asking him questions about with our deed here. And she'll read it, what they
consent agreement, right.
said.
So I sent him a copy of the consent agreement. And he actually went to the website to read our beach ordinance, so that he had the information he needed. And what he wrote to me was, "Good afternoon, Lee. It was nice speaking with you yesterday. Thank you for providing a copy of the consent decree governing the town's shared use of the Hartford Beach. I have reviewed the language in the decree to ascertain whether the first provision in the decree limiting the use of the beach to Hartford residents and their guests would require the residents to be present at the beach along with the guests, or whether the guests may be present without the resident who invited them to use the beach as well. If the 12 provisions you shared are the entirety of the decree, I do not see any language in the decree that directly addresses your question. For this reason, in my opinion, the town would have discretion to address it through the adoption of a policy or ordinance. I see that the town has adopted a beach ordinance, which was recently amended on June 18th of this year. I think that was the 19th, wasn't it? Well, in any case, the first section of the ordinance provides that the purpose of the ordinance is to establish policies regarding access and limitations applicable to guests. And the third section provides that the select board may adopt rules governing the use of the beach. Based on these 2 ordinance provisions, and the lack of any other language in the ordinance further addressing the question of whether guests must be accompanied by the residents who invited them or not, in my view, the ordinance provides the select board with clear authority to adopt rules that answer this question. I hope this feedback is helpful. You're welcome to circle back with any follow-up questions. So,
Also, there's no language that says how many guests a person can have. So the rec committee could invite all of the swim lesson parents as guests.
So I can invite all of the city of Auburn too.
If you want to, Dave, go for it. But you have your own beach.
And that wouldn't happen. I don't think the swim families are the issues that occur down with looting and inappropriate.
you have dogs on the
behavior.
beach and
Right.
cigarette butts and glass bottles and paper bags and the like.
And if the residents of the town of Hartford feel that if, you know, that somehow they're being slighted by swim families having access to that so that their kids have a safe place to learn how to swim, it could be an additional, like the last one you read out.
Yeah.
If you are not a resident of Hartford, it needs to be this higher fee. And people who pay for a privilege do not throw garbage on the side. People have small children for the most part. I mean, yes, we all know that there is a certain population
That leave
exists
diapers
in
behind
every
in the
town,
one.
right? But I feel that the majority of the people who are paying for their kids to have swim lessons, they're vested in not only their children's future, but the ability to do that in a safe and clean place.
So,
And that would be where the constable comes in.
right,
You know, when you see people,
Yeah.
I always get on the game wardens, look at, you know, you guys are busting people for a small trout, but you never bust anybody for their own garbage. You never, you know, they throw, you go canoeing around these places, you see beer cans in the water.
Well,
They don't-
and fishermen can be incredibly trashy.
being a part of the ordinance committee, when we were working on this, we talked about revising the fee schedule. I had suggested a $10 annual fee, which would help not only pay for an attendant, but could also do those additional funds could go to help maintain boardwalk or other things that we need. I personally don't have a problem with the swim people staying and swimming all summer. Doesn't bother me at all. I think that if it's a $10 fee for families, that regardless of what they pay for swimming, that they could be allowed with a different colored pass or whatever to stay for the summer so that their child can continue to practice. That would be my opinion of it.
Yeah,
But-
Somebody even
we
said that-
didn't talk about a $10 fee. We talked about, currently it's $5 for the life of the week when you register, right?
For the sticker.
No, for the
Yeah,
sticker.
Until we change
Yeah.
the stickers.
Yeah.
But we
so
were determined,
no,
we
we talked
couldn't,
about-
we couldn't make a fee,
We talked
Okay.
about 5 annually. No, select board would have to do.
right? Well,
Well,
we
she
didn't,
just said
you
we
talked
because
about 5,
she's on
I
the
talked
select
about
board.
10.
Well, several of us talked about 5, so it wouldn't be such a jump.
It's not a jump.
If it's-
$10 compared
if
to
it's-
what everyone else is charging is nothing. And having a fee, I don't think the families would have a problem paying that, and it would also add value because they would then say, hey, I gotta pay for this, here's my permit every year, and then we can pull a permit if someone is abusing it too.
Susan, we were talking about different fees, $5. Right now, people pay $5 until
Residents.
the
Forever.
residents, until the
Residents.
stickers change. We
Yeah.
talked about changing that to $5 a year
No,
when they register their vehicles.
I remember the meeting specifically because I was very passionate about it, and I'd gone down to see the beach since I have my own beach. I didn't feel like I was able to even say anything until I got down there, and
Go
what a
ahead,
beautiful
Leanne.
spot.
How many people signed up for swimming lessons this year? And can our little parking lot handle that?
Ramsey would know.
Is she on there?
Ramsey?
Yes, I was told to mute, so I mute. Yes,
How many people?
I can't hear a thing that people are saying other than you three, so If you could repeat it, the microphone doesn't pick
How
it up.
many swim lesson families are there this year?
There are 7 from Buckfield, there are 12 from Canton, there are 17 from Hartford. And I can just turn the page here, and 16 from Sumner. There are a total with those families of 52 children.
The two families.
52
No,
children.
No,
I'm converting that to, the children wouldn't go to.
most families have, many families have more than one child.
You said what? Sometimes they have more than one child.
Excuse me?
I was trying to convert that to how many families would be coming, but. Then you reminded me that some people
We had-
might have 2 or 3 kids.
I mean, they don't come, obviously, they don't come all at once.
No, of course not, except for
It-
at less.
At different times.
Right, and of course, later in the season, if these families come, they come at random times.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's not going to be from 11:30 till 2, when now everybody's put from 11:30 to 2. As of now, is the parking guest passes, there are 23 of them. Some families have more than one pass because a father brings them one day, mother brings them another day, that kind of thing. But that's what I know. So we're not talking huge numbers. They have been wonderful, responsible people, and we never have glass on the beach. We never have bottles anymore. We don't have drunk people driving ATVs around. It's just remarkable what a difference it has made having this responsible community. And we don't have children drowning.
There were complaints of trash on the beach this year and last year.
Yes,
A
but
little
it's-
bit, but not like, it's a lot better.
And we have a lot of people without scooters who have nothing to do with swim lessons, who come and cause problems.
That's what the constable will take
Yeah.
care of.
Yeah.
We never had that.
And I really tell them to get out.
Go ahead, Dave.
Because I don't want
It's a darn good question.
What's that?
When are we gonna build the parking lot that we're meant to build?
Ramsey, can I mute you for a second, because you're making a lot of noise.
I can't hear you.
She's gonna mute you just for a second.
Thank you.
You know,
Put in a dry hydrant down in that turnaround.
Absolutely.
You cannot get to it.
Right. Well, I think the important thing is that people refer to that as the parking lot, and it is simply not. It is a cul-de-sac.
cul-de-sac.
So we'd have to
That
be
is correct.
cutting some trees.
Oh, it's gonna take a lot more than cutting trees because it's a swampy spot.
But
It's
when
gonna take
Jeremy
some fill.
was on the road commissioner, he wanted to, this was after I was a selectman, but he wanted to cut trees and put fill in there, and I don't know what happened.
You know, I can't tell you for sure what happened. There have been numerous false starts, but nothing has ever really happened.
But it's already on the plan. if
It
you
is
look at
on the plan, and it's something that we've actually had on our list of things to do for the select board on a given year, and it just somehow hasn't happened. I think part of the problem is it's not something we've ever really considered at budget time. Therefore, there's not a lot of dough for this. At one point, BIM was going to bring Phil from Church Street, but of course, that didn't happen. You know.
trees gotta get cut
Trees
first.
gotta get cut first. Jack Plumley was trying to get somebody he knew to go in and cut the trees.
Man, that long ago?
Oh, man, no,
Holy
this has
cow.
been since 1989,
Holy
man.
shit.
Honey, this has been going on for a very long time.
You go, okay. You have some goals.
Well, I'd say it's time that it happened.
We need to put that
Okay,
in the plan.
well,
But put that 50,000 towards the new town office, towards the new parking lot.
Well, if we had been thinking with our heads screwed on
Yeah.
straight, we might have decided that what we wanted to do with some of our ARPA money is to build that parking area rather, it doesn't have to be paved. It just has to be gravelled, but we could have built the parking lot with some of our ARPA funds, and instead it's gone to culverts and stuff mostly.
Which still a lot of people use.
It's all important.
Yeah.
It's
all
all important. I'm remembering Bob LaRue, who's no longer on the budget committee's wise words that, the ARPA money should probably go towards not something we have to have, but something that would be
Nice to have.
or that we're required to have. It's something that would be nice to have, but we'll never come up with the dough
That's right.
otherwise.
Right. Yeah. He wanted it to go towards something.
Something like that. And,
Richard, sorry.
yeah, sure, thank you.
Richard,
Just a question. Do I understand that it's the lawyer's opinion that since the road and the cul-de-sac are town-owned public ways, that the town has the right to do just about whatever they wish on the road and the cul-de-sac? That would seem logical to me. Is that what the lawyer said?
No, the lawyer
No.
didn't address the subject of roads or ways at any time.
Well, would you expect that that's the case?
We have a policy of Pine Shore.
In other words, that it's within your right to do what you're doing with the stickers and so forth.
Yeah.
The select board has the right,
Or is it illegal?
no, the select board has the right to determine policies on beach stickers, fees, and the like.
Well, that's what I thought too. Thank you.
Thank you.
And none of this that we're discussing is the problem of the swim lesson families.
No.
None of it. And Lee and Kathy, you were at the ordinance committee meetings. I do not remember a consensus of an amount to charge residents or non-residents. Do you? I believe we said that is entirely up to the
The
select board.
board.
No, I don't think
Okay.
Because I know we're throwing out numbers. I don't
Just
think
to
there was
get
a
it,
consensus.
just to get it straight.
Yeah.
Sure.
I thought we should leave it at $5 and make it annual, but I'm not the boss. I'm just the chair.
maybe another year we could go up.
Sure. I am the chair.
We've already got them out this year.
Hmm?
We've already got most of the stickers out this year.
Well, that's right.
But you can't just turn on a dime. We ought to make a plan so that next year people understand that
Right.
we're gonna be.
And address it in the budget.
Right,
Right.
so can I just want to point out that we got quite a ways to go on our
Our schedule.
agenda,
Yeah.
and right now we're on number 3 of unfinished business, which is specifically about swim lesson passes.
Ramsey had a hand up.
Go ahead, Ramsey.
So my question is, how many Hartford resident stickers have been bought by Hartford residents?
No way you know that.
We've had the same sticker. Can you tell me
What'd she say?
how many?
How many Hartford stickers have been bought by Hartford residents for the beach? For their cars for the beach?
For free while I was gone. Had the same stickers.
No. We did not.
How many?
We don't have any.
Nobody knows?
No, nobody present knows that answer.
Okay, no. I'm just thinking, the size of the parking lot, it kind of depends how many Hartford people already have, if there were 150 people who already had parking passes for the beach, that would be germane to this conversation.
As a frequent beach goer, we see the same people over and over. I think Bonnie and Al can back me up on that. And we see the same Hartford residents over the very small number. The big issue is they don't have passes from out of town. It's when it's really hot. When it's really hot, that's when
It'll
people.
leave the weekends.
I was just reading the Pine Shores parking ordinance,
Mhm.
which is law. And it says, it talks about signs being erected, giving notice no person shall park any motor vehicle or on Thompson Lane or any town land abutting the town beach without a permit issued by the town clerk.
Which are our stickers.
They're a permit, without a permit issued by the town clerk.
Which I believe that the stickers qualify as that permit, no?
We talked about that language when we were working on the.
So what's the right committee giving out?
We giving out anything?
The rec committee?
Yeah.
She just said she's given out 23 guest passes.
For those permits?
Yeah, are they parking permits?
I'm just saying, it says in the ordinance.
And to me, if anyone has a parking permit, they should be coming in, getting it from here anyway versus.
Well,
unless it's a
sure
swim
enough. So
parking
you're
lot.
saying that if somebody signs up for swim lessons and gets,
And they want to keep coming after some lessons, they should.
but
come get a
during
permit.
swim lessons, are you saying that, I think Leanne is saying that the swim lesson families are in violation of the Pine Shores parking ordinance if their swim lesson
Guest passes.
parking guest pass hasn't been issued by the town clerk?
Sounds like that's correct.
Right.
Well, the last sentence under purpose of the beach ordinance says, this ordinance establishes policies, blah, 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 by means of guest or other permits and the purchase of stickers at the town office. So
This ordinance says permits are only to be given out by the town clerk.
That's the Pine Shores, right?
The Pine Shores parking ordinance that was adopted at town meeting.
In which year?
Well, but the parking, does that area, that cul-de-sac belong to Pine Shores?
This is the Pine.
Actually,
Shores
Thompson Lane
parking
is public
ordinance.
property.
But Pine Shores is over there.
Well, nonetheless, it's a public
It's-
road. And
Right.
this-
So
this
does
is an
that
ordinance
apply
that
to the
establishes
cul-de-sac,
parking
or is
on
a
that public road.
Turnaround.
No,
Are we talking two different things
Public,
or one thing?
public.
Thompson Lane and other town lands abutting the town beach.
They're town
they-
properties.
You have to not interfere with the safe passage of emergency vehicles.
Pine Shores parking wouldn't have anything to do with the town road and town turnaround.
They're saying they're the public beach, so this is all.
That's
through
just
Pine
what
Shores.
that's what it's called. It's all
Yeah.
within it's a public
Right.
road within the subdivision.
Yep,
Are the houses along Thompson Lane part of the subdivision?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not something I
Absolutely.
happen to know.
Oh, well, now you
Two
do.
on Church Street.
2 on Church Street.
There are in fact, two on Church Street.
Interesting.
That is
I just
interesting.
think we need to
That wasn't
clear
very
this
well
muddy
done.
water by
Yeah.
creating a real policy for permitting and come up with some sort of fee base that will go back into protecting the
So-
beach,
So
maintaining the
so
beach.
what
And
I would
having
like to
somebody like
suggest
Turner has.
is
Yeah.
that the
I had one
subject
family
of
offer to pay $100 a
permitting-
year
permitting and fees
To use the
for
beach, yeah.
stickers and the like
That's why I
could be a
said,
subject, doesn't
when I
have to
saw
be tonight's
Turner was
select board meeting.
15.
I'm gonna
can't hear
suggest-
who should be writing.
Kids have to know how to swim.
You have to talk to the chairman of the
What's
board if
that?
you wanna talk.
Oh.
Sorry.
I apologize for the side conversation. Lenny was saying that there are families who are willing to pay to have a safe place for their kids.
Sure.
One family offered $100 to have it, because I called them all to tell
So,
them their
Just don't forget.
meeting times and
this
everything,
is
and that
the-
things might change, and so one person, I mean, we aren't gonna expect families to pay
When we
$100.
talk about swim lesson season passes, not all of the, not the parking lot, not the
Right, right.
not the cul-de-sac, not,
Right.
but here specifically to talk about
passes.
swim lesson season passes.
Does the town maintain Thompson Lane?
Oh, yes, we
Oh,
do.
yes.
does the town maintain the roads? Is that's a road within Pine Shores, or we maintain all the roads within Pine Shores?
No,
No.
Pine Shores,
So it's
Pine
separate.
Shores Drive up to Thompson Lane and then down Thompson Lane. I believe, is that correct, Dave?
So we're talking different things.
It's just called Pine Shores parking ordinance because it's in Pine Shores.
Well, but
It mentions
Well, we
Thompson
might-
Lane.
public roads are different things.
But we maintain that road.
If we maintain the road in the cul-de-sac, then that isn't part of the Pine Shores parking lot.
But still,
It mentions
Well,
Thompson
well,
Lane
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
it is,
ordinance.
because an ordinance was adopted to address parking within the Pine Shores subdivision on town-owned roads.
It's an ordinance,
It is an
so it
ordinance.
could be amended,
Any ordinance could be amended, right?
because that's a stupid.
In any case, I understand what it's about.
I think that's-
I understand what
I
it's
think we have
about.
to have
And I
control
think
of
that I think that the problem that ordinance was put in to address could be solved by building that parking area. I don't know what that would cost, and maybe we could talk to our road commissioner about an estimate for
Yeah.
what that would set us back.
What, we've been making a parking lot?
Yeah. I mean, if it were really only a matter of cutting some
Oh,
trees and putting in
actually-
some gravel, then that would be a miraculous thing. I suspect it might be a little bit more than that. You might need
Where they go
geotextile,
over to the right,
some gravel and then some geotextile,
over to the
yes,
right.
yes.
I think it's swampland, isn't it?
Oh, hell yeah, that's why I say, it's gonna take some fill, and it's gonna take, and possibly permit by rule from the DEP.
We can
And
talk to Jack.
probably some geotextile to hold everything in place. I mean, it's probably gonna be fairly complicated. And I think that's why it hasn't happened yet. I mean, like I say, lots of false starts, but it's never really happened. In any case, remember, we're here tonight to discuss one topic,
Mhm.
and that is swim lesson season passes.
Well, it's
Um,
too late to go up on anything right now.
Well, I know we're not here to talk about
Right,
yeah.
fees. Now, unless, of course, within the subject of swim lesson season passes, we want to consider whether
Let the guests come
let the
for
guests
the
come,
rest of the summer.
let the guests come for the rest of the summer, and should they then purchase the pass after swim lessons are over? Should there be a fee specifically
Yes.
for the season pass? I don't want to talk about any other fees for anybody else. I want to stick, if we can,
Just
to
the
swimming
summer.
lessons, just to swim lesson season passes, number
You
3 here.
you can't discriminate between everyone from out of town. Or just swim lesson. If you can sell a permit to just the people from out of town who take swimming lessons, you have to sell them to everybody.
Right.
That may be, I'm not sure I'm frankly not sure that that's true.
you know?
So maybe in fact, we should just not even discuss the subject of fees. But I will move that we consider the swim lesson families to be the guests of the town of Hartford for the remainder of the
Summer.
beach season.
With the knowledge that there'll probably be changes coming. With
You
the
know,
way
we don't have to add anything to it. Then we can call it good, call it that for now, and address. I think we should probably bring the beach up again, and probably again and again and again.
The rest of the summer.
That's what I said for the remainder of the beach season. And so I've made, a motion is on the table. Which means that somebody could second it if they want to, or it could die for lack of a second.
I think that we're gonna have to add to that motion that they are guests of
Of the select board.
the select board.
Yeah, I thought that's what I said. Did
You
they be
said of
guests?
swimming lessons. That's what I wrote down.
Okay, I move that the swim lesson families be considered guests of the select board and allowed to attend the beach for the remainder of the beach season.
End of 2022.
So that, for this year.
Yeah. I second that.
Well, I think
All in
Kathy
favor?
already seconded it.
Nobody in favor?
So if you want to maybe put on another agenda or policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should, keep discussing the beach
Yeah.
as long as it takes.
I have a question, even though my video doesn't work.
Natasha,
Go ahead.
So if swim lesson participants can be guests from the select board doesn't have to be present and they're still considered a guest. And so by like reason of logic, can other people have guests and not be present? Because if you're not going to be present, how are you going to hold that for everybody else? And then also another question is, when the town office is closed and a spontaneous beach day arises, if you're gonna allow people with swim lessons to go with a pass, is it then okay for me to say, hey, this person is in person with me without a piece of paper?
Think ahead of time.
so you're saying plan ahead?
I mean, the weatherman can't always plan ahead, so I just don't think
Actually, you're
it's
pretty good at it
completely.
nowadays.
Usually, yes, I would usually plan ahead for the whole month, but on a spontaneous day, I feel like it shouldn't be a huge issue to be able to go down with a person without a piece of paper,
No, they don't need it.
if you're with them and present with them.
They're guests.
Well, you couldn't hear what somebody just said from the peanut gallery, but what he said was that if somebody's with you, then they're obviously your guests. To just assign guesthood to any random person that you want is something else altogether.
Ramsey's has her hands up.
Ramsey, if you want to speak, you got to turn your mute off so they can hear you.
Will you call on Ramsey, please?
Yeah. Go ahead, Ramsey.
Here is what we have been using over the years for the swim passes. It says that we are guests of the rec committee and signed Leanne Bedard and has 2022 and has the license number. The number in the corner refers to a master sheet, which Leanne will be getting tomorrow, now that we've finalized all the people who are coming. That gives their telephone number, their license plate, well, not their license plate number is now on it, but how you get in touch with these people.
I didn't sign any last year.
Excuse me?
I didn't sign them.
I can't hear you. What?
She said she didn't sign them last year.
No, she has never signed them as far as I know. We just have this, and she has printed them off in the past. I printed them off this year. There's never been a signature on them, and Leanne had, and she printed them off on the copy machine. And I give her the master sheet, and when we had a constable, I gave the constable had a master sheet. So my question is, the swim families from out of town have these now. And in the past, when the select board said, yes, they should continue to use these over the summer while the children increase their swimming skills. So my question is this a different thing now? I mean, we've always assumed it's part of the select board is the one. We send out a letter to the parents saying the select board has allowed the parents to continue for the season. So
It's supposed to continue the process for the end of the summer.
correct. So, but
Stay the same until the end of the summer, and then we'll be looking at new rules for next year.
yes, okay. But I was hearing something about having to go to the town office and getting, so the parents are going to want to know if these passes are still legitimate for them to put on their cars from the time the lessons are over.
Ramsey, the question that somebody approached is not the swim lesson families. If somebody wants a guest pass, they're supposed to come to the town office and get that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying the swim families.
No.
Okay, Thank you. That's
other guests that would come.
helpful to have that clarified. Thank you.
So what do I tell people who come in for guest passes? I've been telling them since it began, they have to be there with their guests.
Obviously, you don't have to.
So I can give them out to anybody?
No.
I think, I mean, I'm counting on you to be judicious in this.
I would say they would have to be with them.
I would say they would have to be one of them, the only
Right.
people
You're
that.
contradicting yourselves.
Yeah, that's right.
The lawyer stated pretty clearly that
No.
there's nothing in our ordinance nor in the consent decree that requires residents to be there with their guests.
So I can give them out to anybody.
I'd say they'd have to
I
be
thought a
with them.
guest had to be,
Well, they'd have
the
to,
resident
they'd
has to
have to
get
be
the
the
guest
guest of the-
pass.
they have to be the guest of the resident.
Usually when I
That would be a
bring
good
guests
way to
there,
go
I
about
would
it.
use bypass my vehicle and bring them there.
There you go.
That's the way I would do it. The swim team, the swim kids are different. It's a totally different,
Not really.
well, they
Yeah,
can.
they are.
If they brought somebody in their car with their pass, not another whole car of people, that would be legal. You're not giving another guest pass because you got a car that, and mostly you go by a car. You're not running around with stuff hanging off. You're saying I'm legal here. Or it's your car that you're ticketing.
So the guest pass currently, doesn't a resident have to get the guest pass because it's for a
Right.
guest?
But like if Natasha comes in and gets 10 guest pass tomorrow,
But you can't bring 10 cars. That's the
Why?
problem.
why not?
Why not?
No, because
Why?
that's not
Why
how it
not?
works. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
That's what the guest pass are for the cars, the guest cars.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, there could be 150 cars down there. And you wait, you're opening up a can of worms.
You don't, I don't know. I never did that. I always, if I brought a guest, they came in my vehicle.
I have another comment question, I guess. I feel like the issue is we have to get a parking lot in place before we can really address passes and charging for passes. Because once we have a parking lot in place, we can really open this up because parking won't be the issue completely. But I do think it's a back and forth a little bit. If the select board can have guests without you being present, then other people should be able to have guests without being present. But I mean, I agree. I think you should be present with your guests because you're responsible for them so they aren't trashing the beach. I agree with that completely. But then I think if you can say that you can have guests without you being present, that opens up for other people to do as well. So I think it would be good for the swim lesson people to have to pay an extra fee to use the beach for the rest of the summer. Because if Hartford residents pay for swim lessons, they also have to pay for swim lessons and that beach pass. Whereas other towns are just paying for the swim lessons and then not the beach pass.
5 to 10 years that you keep a car.
It's been
I mean,
We need
totally
a policy.
plenty of
inappropriate.
Um,
Every other town that I called that had a policy in place to bring guests, was always you had to be with your guest because they are your guest. Even if we gave them
The way I look at
60
it.
days to say we're changing the policy, we will continue as we are right now, but in 60 days, is gonna be the end of the summer anyway, or close to it, after Labor Day. I would expect to have to give anybody
kids will
any
be back in
notice,
school.
right? So my only thought was, if we're gonna continue this till we give people notice and until we can get some policies in place for next season without dropping it on them now. We put it off this long. Ordinance committee talked about it 3 months ago. Then we just give notice that things are going to be changing. And that at this point, and back when these ordinances were made, the town office used to be open a lot more. Now, town office, at least, it used to be
Not a
open.
couple of years ago.
No,
No.
no, but we didn't make
No.
these a couple of years ago. How long have been swimming lessons been going on? Lenny said something about 10 years they've been doing this.
2018, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
it's always been Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and
She's open extra for Saturday.
yeah, now it's open Saturday.
I don't know, if you just put it in there that guests have to go with resident or like a parent, a swim pass. That's the way it should be.
So I'm getting confused again. Are we talking about the swim lesson people continuing the use of their pass? Or are we talking about something else?
We're trying to make a uniform policy, and it's hard to do that when we don't accompany our swim lesson families to the beach.
Well, we do during the swim lessons, of course, but
Yes, but not the rest of the summer.
correct.
So how do we implement a rule for one group, but then let the rest, make the other group have a different set of rules? That's what we're discussing.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, I think we should go on to something, yeah?
One more question.
Go ahead.
I'll make it quick. If we were to build a new parking lot, would it be closer to the beach and would it eliminate most or
No.
all long walkway?
No,
Nope.
Thank you.
no, we got a little swampland we can use. But
Okay, we'll
that's
put
gonna
this
have to
on
be
next
addressed.
agenda, talking about
Okay,
policies and
but until
everything.
then, I don't have to tell people you have to be with your guest.
No,
Okay?
I don't, to be a guest?
Be with your guest.
No.
What do you tell them now?
That you have to, your guest has to go to the beach with you.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
But
Well, that's why I'm saying
can't
we
say
are,
that
Don't
now.
change it, don't change it.
I
Keep it like
can't,
that.
I can't say that now,
Yeah, you can.
because there's people going without residents.
They have to go with the residents, except for the.
Well,
swim.
if that's the way it has
Well,
always
the fact of the
been,
matter is, swim lessons go on for 2 weeks, is it?
yeah. I think,
They're 2 weeks. Next week is the last week. And it would be really helpful if I could tell the parents if you're going to continue the policy of,
just for this
It's
summer.
already been decided.
so I can tell them or that they can use their passes through the rest of the summer.
for the rest of the summer.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. That's all I need to know.
So for the parking permits that we have right now, and it's for the residents be there with the guests.
That's what I've been telling them. That's what
That
I
sounds
always
good to me.
understood.
Yeah.
It's the way it should be.
But we can't have one rule for the select people and one rule for the residents.
I agree that, what do we get for rule?
You just made a motion
Yes,
to
yeah.
allow the swimming lessons people to go on their own as guests of you.
But you don't
To
want a
con-
new house.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This
Well,
is
the
a
whole
pain.
policy
Swim
needs-
lesson people, they pretty much act the same as Hartford families. You know, if you think about it, They have to, if they're gonna go there and they wanna bring, say, another kid with them that's a guest, so they have to use that one vehicle. We can't come with 5 vehicles.
So I suggest that we let people know that we are making changes to the policy. And we're gonna let things continue status quo right now until the end of the summer while we work on the new policies for the beach,
Right, that sounds good.
which means the current families who are already told they could come, can come
Mhm.
from swim lessons, knowing that we're giving them, putting them on notice that it probably won't be this way next year. Because we will be setting up a standardized practice for guests and a fee schedule.
Well, the fee schedule is on your agenda, but.
I know, which I wanted to address, but
Canton doesn't have seem to have problems with their beach.
It's not a Canton Beach, it's a state-owned way. There's no regulations from any town on that beach.
Public.
They don't have any issues anyway.
Yeah, they ain't got no beach, so they like come to ours.
right. But they could go to many other options. They don't have to come to ours. They just like to.
I think
Same
with gas prices and obesity rates in children, that having kids at the beach instead of on video games is probably our best option for our next generation.
Who's speaking?
Martha.
Kind of sounded like Marla.
Mhm.
Absolutely. We want kids at the beach. Absolutely. We just need a standardized policy for everybody.
Okay, anybody got anything for open session?
I do.
I do too.
Go ahead.
Leanne,
Um,
she spoke first.
Canton Fire Department called to say that the Turner Fire Chief no longer is employed by the town of Turner. And the Turner Town Manager, I think finding it,
Would you, yeah, run that by me again?
the Turner Town Manager moved all of the fire trucks that were at the Boogie Quimby Station to Turner Center, I don't know, the rescue somewhere else. So he's concerned that they may not be as efficient in getting to emergency in Canton and Turner, and wants to know if we, why he suggested we should contact the town manager of Turner.
So in other words, there's no longer a fire station at Uvikumbi.
The trucks are not there right now.
Not right now, or they shut it down, you
That's
Do
know.
we know if they're gonna replace the fire captain?
Oh, I'm sure.
Probably
That's all I know.
Down
Just
by
wanna be on
Lubbock
my
High
call
School.
time.
So we'll be getting a refund.
Don't count on it.
So who would like to
no.
make a call to the Turner town manager?
I get along just fine with him, but finding the time to make a call is
I'm happy
always,
to make a call if you want me to.
that would be great.
Do we know what the town manager's name is?
Yes, Kurt, damn, Kurt.
This is not on there, but.
Oh,
Kurt
well,
Schwab, I think.
yeah, Schwab, hang on a second.
Schwab.
I've got his contact information right here.
Great.
I have two questions for open session.
go ahead.
I couldn't hear as usual, so I don't know what you determined about a constable. And I also am wondering how much of a kickback you guys are getting for advertising Pepsi on there.
Nothing.
No, the constable was my
He
real
doesn't even
question.
get free Pepsi.
Hmm.
There we go.
There you go.
What did you decide about the constable?
We haven't got that yet.
Oh, I thought you talked about a lot about it right at the beginning.
No, it was mentioned in the during the salary part of the process. but-
Oh, okay, but you haven't got to it yet. Thank you.
Okay, what's your beef?
Well, I don't have beef. I just want to, hang on a second. I had to change my screen to give her information. Okay, so I just want to mention that there are the Lake Annissagunticook Association has Lake Days coming up. And I have an email here. I'm pretty sure it was sent out to others, but I want to make sure people know about it, that there is first Wednesday, July 6th from watershed protection workshops are coming up. First is Wednesday, July 6th. Well, that was then. Okay, hang on. Where? No, this is, I think this is not the one I was looking for. I got it in an email here because, oh yeah, here we go. This was changed. High Lake Association members, please see the attached revised watershed workshop schedule and notice of upcoming Lake Day events. July 6th workshop have been moved to August 13th, same time, same place, but just prior to Lake Day's events. If you pre-registered, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me see if I can find somewhere here. Yeah, watershed protection workshops are going on it's going to be on August 16th. You know, the information here, it would be great if I could print this up, but I can't. But Lake Days is happening at the Canton Boat Landing. And it's on August 13th from 12 to 3, but the workshop is going on, I believe, from 10.
And you said it's the 13th or the 16th?
There's a flyer up there.
Is it okay? Great. So if there's flyers out there.
Okay.
Anybody got anything else?
Dave, did you have something for open session?
Okay, I just wanted to let folks know about that. Yeah, the workshop is from 10 to 12 and Lake Days is still is 12 to 3, which is, you know, usually there's a bunch of fun activities planned.
Okay.
But
New business, disbursement warrant payroll.
last year you guys chose that one person could approve payroll.
Want to do that again this year?
However you wanna do it, you could have all of you have to sign to approve payroll, or one or two.
Keep it the same.
Which is just one, right? I think it's good because we could be anywhere.
That's how we've had it for some time now. And what you gotta do, first of all, you say current municipal officers, all of them, any one of the municipal officers acting alone may review, approve, and assign such said warrants, and you want to circle B, so you know what we're signing here. And then we sign. And that's how it goes. And this is only for employee wages and benefits.
Yep. so
And
we
then
don't
there's
hold
another
anything
one,
up.
there's another
One
one
for
for,
state.
for like state things like motor vehicles.
Mhm.
So nothing's held up.
Which you'll see in about 2 seconds. Ashley, I need a motion on that one.
Make a motion that we continue with the policy where one select board member can sign on the treasurer's disbursement warrant for employee wages and benefits.
I second it. All in favor? Here we got one for the disbursement warrant state fees.
Sorry.
We will keep it the same, just like the other one.
It's like, especially for motor vehicle reports, because they want them sent in every week. paid every week.
So I'll speak very slowly. I make a recommendation that one select board municipal officer can act alone, may review, approve, and sign such a warrant for the treasurer's disbursement warrants for state fees.
I'll second it. Two of us can do, all in favor.
Okay.
All in
All
favor?
favor? Please sign that. You get that? It's like, there's two down.
Other municipal officials. Officials.
What is that?
This
Let me
is
get into that.
to require all tax payments to go to the oldest taxes first. So
Oh,
someone can't come
that's
in
great.
and, until this is an ordinance, we have to do it every year, every time officers change.
Do we need to make a motion for this also? So I make a motion that the municipal officers, upon request of the tax collector, hereby authorize that the tax monies go on the chronological order, of the oldest unpaid tax bill.
I second it. All in favor?
And that Lee Holman be responsible for that. All in favor? Just kidding. Just kidding.
We'll let her get caught up. Sign in.
All right.
In the town.
Okay, next is fee schedule.
So this can't be adopted, plus I want to double check all the ordinances, make sure I haven't missed anything, but you have to have a public hearing before you can adopt it.
Okay,
You might want to think about the fees unless you.
yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
I think so. So this is to be reviewed.
I think at some point we have to, even though we have 1,000 more beach stickers down there, we should probably come out with new ones sometime.
Mhm.
Yep, and it should be something. we
How
do
many beach
annually.
stickers were purchased in the first place?
I remember that.
Well, I don't know, is it like 10,000 or?
I don't know, but we probably have 500 in here. I don't know.
Do they say Turner? Turner. They say.
No,
Hartford
probably
Beach?
not.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, I was.
You
Turner
never
frame of
seen
mind.
one?
No, I've never seen one.
Just says beach. We can change that word to something else.
They have a number on them.
No.
It's a nice sticker. But we could start putting a number or a stamp on there for the year.
I closed the door, so
Right.
just in case she was barking at a skunk, she couldn't get at it.
Do that
Lee and
is-
Kathy,
what?
what if we, I don't know what we have for backstock, but what if we start putting, when we start selling these, we start putting a year on there, because I feel that our permit fees are gonna be annually versus here's $5 for the rest of your life.
Well, the other thing is, at one point, there's not really a place for it, but at one point, there was the registration number of the vehicle was on here. And then, but at one point, after Leanne was out of here, and so I don't think it was the Betty administration, it was Becky's brilliant idea was to clip a hole in them and then put a rubber band so people would hang it on the windshield, I mean, the
So they
rear
can
view
move it from
mirror
car
of
to
their
car.
car, so they can move from car to car, including into anybody's car. Which I always thought was like, that didn't strike me as being an overly brilliant
Right.
idea.
That's probably what they're doing, passing them around.
I'm certain. But plenty of people just go with no permit whatsoever. I mean, plenty of them.
So we have to do this fee schedule this evening?
No,
it requires a
no,
public
it
hearing,
may be so,
it's just
this is
a-
to be reviewed. I just said, I just scribbled that on there, so, so we don't even have to take more time on it even now.
Now,
just have
some
to remember
ordinances
to
do
take a
have
closer look.
fees in them. So you can't really change those without
Right.
changing the ordinances.
Right.
Which we
Just-
talked about during the ordinance
Which
committee
which
about
is
not
why
putting
we
numbers in there.
didn't put any numbers in there,
Yeah.
because it makes it so hard to make any changes to anything without going back to your ordinances, and the ordinance
Yep.
has to be changed at town meeting, and what a pain in the butt.
I also want to, I made a copy of, and I didn't make 3 copies. I made a copy of another town's fees, just so we have something to compare
Okay.
to.
Well, maybe you'd like to go and make some copies, so we have something to compare it to.
I
Maybe
could
that's
do
it
that.
somewhere. Yeah,
I can definitely do that.
you know how to run that thing?
I could probably figure it out once I find that fee schedule that I had.
Yeah, but see, welcome to my world.
Yes.
Fishing through page after page after page. In there somewhere, I know it is.
I know it is too. There.
So.
This guy right here.
Yeah, I just took it out. Okay. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
There's 4 pages.
4 pages now. Okay, so you put in here like this.
Do you wanna wait till next meeting for this, just turn it in?
Yeah, okay.
Next one.
Number of sets, you want two more?
Why don't you do 3 so that Leanne's got one?
No,
Not
no, no.
23 now.
Clear.
This is next on the agenda. Do you want it now, or do you wanna wait till you're done copying?
What's that?
This is the next agenda item. Do you want to start now?
Nice.
The only catch is that sometimes
Next
it's
one.
out of
I'm just gonna give them to you.
long paper and the little paper, you put the bottom goes through. And I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is also a calculation.
She backs,
You also stamp up the number of trees.
Yeah, we'll do it now, Leanne.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know my way around here that much, but I know some stuff.
Okay, these are maintenance and constable applications.
Okay, I will take a look. Okay, I see.
Simple. Simple. Simple.
Prepping food. Boy, yeah, anybody whose application comes in looking like that, I gotta tell you, makes me think about it for me. Prepping food and cooking.
Which position is this for?
Maintenance and constable.
And this
For
is,
both, oh.
this is you recognize the name.
I do recognize that name.
Thank you so much for this. We'll put it with the Hartford fee schedule and we can take a look. Now let me see the consoles. Let me see this. Is this the, oh yeah, maybe it's, oh, it's on the wrong page.
Is there another application for, or one for each position?
Like, two,
Yeah, but
I didn't look at
there's
them.
two different, they're
I
two
see.
different positions, of
Yeah.
course, separate applications. Okay, so there's one, this is for maintenance.
Can I just mention something?
Okay.
That a police officer that lives in Hartford came in and I contacted him because I thought after the fact that he would be good for the constable position. So I've been talking to him and wanted to know how much time it consists of and whatnot. And I finally heard back from him today because I asked him if, it's kind of late, do you want to apply? And he said, not this time, if you can't find anyone, I'll consider it. Yeah,
Cool.
an emergency or something this week.
Yeah. But one of the things, because I talked to the attorney, and one of the things I said, well, we don't have a constable at this time. And he said, a constable, many towns don't have a constable at this point. He says it's really a 19th century concept. And because I said, well, I thought constable was required, and he's told me that in fact a constable is not required. What we really need, of course, is a beach monitor, because oftentimes I've seen the warrants for town meeting posted by a resident. It doesn't have to be by a constable. So beach monitor is what we really need, and occasionally somebody who's willing to come to the town office for a meeting when we're going to have a contentious hearing about a junkyard. Oh man, we've had some fun with that. But once in a while there's something contentious that you actually wish to have a constable around for. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a constable. If
Right.
you can have somebody monitor.
Somebody
the
was-
beach monitor. That's part of
right.
what I wanted to discuss this,
Well,
because
if you're going to be issuing citations.
if we're going to be
then
issuing
you probably want
citations,
someone with
then-
some
Law
class,
enforcement,
yeah.
law enforcement.
By the way, those other towns that have town beaches, they
Can I
all,
look at this one too?
they all have a fee schedule also graduated. $25 is the lowest if people are there without a parking pass. And then it goes up to 50 plus lawyer fees.
Fines.
Fines. I was like, wow, They are finding people.
Well, there you go. I mean, we're not in a position to tow people's cars. And also, I mean, when you consider a rural neighborhood like that, to tow somebody's car away is really
Nope.
kind of an asshole.
But
thing.
you
Right.
can give them
But-
citation.
But you can give
But
them
you can give them
citation.
citations. You know, besides that, practically speaking, even though our original beach ordinance said will be towed, we couldn't find a towing company that was willing to. We couldn't find a towing company that was willing to do that.
The other towns are issuing citations.
But not-
Steve has a boat too. Steve has a boat.
Yeah.
Don't say names.
But remember, we are. Okay. That's asking an awful lot to be able to read.
I always think this one would save us money. I think this one could save us money.
I don't know if he's gonna agree to the rate of pay, 'cause he's pretty well qualified for doing a lot of other things. Of
Yeah, well, you know something.
course, you know,
The fact of the matter is, as far as I know, we are still open. Is this turned off at this time?
No.
Well, the light is no longer on.
Oh, it's probably unplugged.
But in any case, I don't know. A situation where we should be
discussing
discussing
this at all.
any personnel stuff in front of the public.
I think we need to
in
interview
front of
everyone that
potentially the public.
applied.
I think we need to interview the people who applied.
Yeah.
And I don't know that, you know, we may or may not want to choose from the people who applied. I mean,
Yeah.
we may, you know, we may want to cast our line in again.
Yeah.
Depending.
What? You mean advertise it again?
I mean, if we don't end up choosing somebody who is one of the applicants, that's at least possible. I think that we should go on discussing what our real needs are as far as, you know, constabulary. as well. So is that there was only just that one application for constable?
I thought there were two. I didn't open these,
Two.
but I thought two people.
I only saw two, I saw two maintenance position
And
and one
No, I
constable.
think it was two. One was.
Well, I didn't, well, the other one didn't get passed over to me
Yeah.
evidently. Oh, here we go. This one has not been opened yet.
Didn't see that one.
So don't get me started.
Was this who you was waiting for?
Waiting for? I wasn't waiting for him. I've never waited for him ever. But he did tell me some while ago that he was interested in the position, like quite some while ago. And has some constable experience, although not in this state.
No, I don't think the door's shut.
Shall we set up a date? Have him come in the interview?
Yeah, we probably should. So I would like to find it. Doesn't she keep yeah, sure she does. Let's see the other ones.
What about? And the interviews on the 21st.
See here. The 21st being our next select board meeting. Well, I'll tell you what.
It was hard getting here at 6, wasn't it?
Oh, honey,
It was really
just
hard.
not maybe. For me to, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
safe bet that I'll be at work that day. And for me to show up at 6 is
Yeah.
super challenging. I just barely got the pig's head and barely got my chores done.
Yeah.
And get
Doing a
down here.
Saturday?
Yeah, don't have to be on a selectmen meeting.
That's right. Or it could be any other
Right.
night of the week for that matter.
What's your schedule look like?
For what?
You,
What's your schedule?
I'm just looking at evenings after work.
Or you could have one night or one.
I can't imagine an interview's gonna last more than 45 minutes to an hour,
Oh, hell,
if that.
I wouldn't think. You see, getting here out of a select board meeting is super challenging.
Okay, so we'll pick a
Um,
different night.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't think I've got anything in particular going on. I'm not looking at evenings here. I guess Thursday, the 14th, I've got
the
something,
nights I
something
on.
going on.
the
that's-
nights I can't be here is,
I'm looking at, right now, I'm
See.
looking at the
Okay, let me
week,
see.
I'm looking at next week.
So I'm
I'm looking
gone
at next week. Do you
up
have?
north or down east, the
thinking.
13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Okay, well, could we meet,
let me think, let me check.
Monday of next week? Is
how-
it better? I mean, I don't know that Leanne has to be here. This is job interviews.
No,
She's
I
not gonna be
don't.
part of this. So we could meet on the
Right.
Tuesday, the 11th?
I can't,
No,
Yes.
or Monday, the 12th? Is that too soon of you? of
so
you?
I'm trying to
meeting?
pack for a camping trip, which means I have to do it after work, which means Monday and Tuesday. Unless
I guess, I get it,
I'm
it.
just trying not to stress out so much to,
Okay,
taking
well,
some time off.
so, you know, I was just wishing that we could,
yeah,
you know,
get it
we
done.
could get her done
Yeah,
and to skip into the
Yeah.
whole next
The
week.
week after,
you
I'll
two
be,
can interview her
week
interview them.
after, I'll be going to Wells.
if you
No,
want to
it
do.
seems like you'd ought to be included. And the week after, say, so the week of the 18th you're going? Or the week,
I will be leaving Tuesday,
The 19th.
and so you're not gonna be here on the
coming
21st?
back.
So you're gonna be skipping the next select board
I'll be
meeting.
zooming.
Okay,
So make sure somebody comes in and signs payroll that week
yeah,
on Monday.
Yeah, I can do Monday.
Oh, okay.
okay, good.
Where else you going?
We're not leaving till
That's where I
Tuesday.
graduated high school. That's where I grew up. Wells.
Wells, really?
Is that where you're
Um,
going?
Okay, so if you could, so when are you leaving for your trip?
Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday afternoon. Can we do Monday, the 18th?
Again,
I can.
Let's call it Monday, the 18th. then.
For all three? I'm two, how many?
There's 2 positions, but there are 3 people.
So you want to do all three on Monday?
might as well.
I'm all right with that.
Starting at what time?
I thought there were 4 people.
No,
Oh, no, I didn't.
one person is supplied both for constable
Oh.
and for
Okay,
the other position.
all right.
Be 3 people.
So it'd be 3 people in all,
Could
although
we start at 6:30? Is that, or 7
we could start at 6:30. I mean, you know,
on the
Half an
18th?
I don't-
hour- half
don't-
an hour each?
yeah,
Okay.
I would say half an hour
Yeah.
each. You know, every now and again, you go over a little bit and tell that person, would ask this other person to come in on your way
Yeah.
out, kind of stuff. I mean, that happens, but you know.
Okay.
Is that something Leanne's gonna call, or are we gonna call and
Yes,
set
I'll
them up?
notify them.
No, our job right now is to put it in our calendar, because objects in the calendar are always closer than they appear. But the ones that you don't put into your calendar are liable to jump up and
That's
bite
for
you
sure.
most anytime.
So July 18th.
Yep, Monday night.
Correct. July
Mother's birthday.
18th. Oh, for heaven's sake, Mom's birthday?
Yep.
Is that not gonna work? That's your mother's birthday.
She can come.
Let me check, see
I'm not
if,
so sure about that. 18th, new event. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, that didn't work the way it was supposed to. Oh,
Back 2 months ago, I made plans for this
here you're
vacation.
putting it AM. Oh, my God.
Whoopsies.
Oopsie,
And I
right.
purposely set it up for the week that I knew they didn't have select board, just in case, if I won, I would try not to miss a select board meeting.
I missed a few. Very few. And when you consider how many years I've been at this.
Well, it'd be sad for me to miss like the second one or the first
Yeah,
one.
yeah, try and be here.
And I was sweating bullets tonight. I'm like,
Okay, so I'm gonna remind myself one day
boss.
before, and then I'll remind myself again an hour before, so I can't blow it.
okay, I got mine in mind. Okay, what else we have next on the
Set a
agenda?
reminder.
hold on a minute.
Don't forget that. Okay, try this again. Set a reminder that Monday, the 18th, I have job interviews at 6:30 PM.
Can you make it, Kathy?
I'm looking, I'm checking with her.
So I double it up here. So I put it in reminders as well, so that I'll get it. Oh, it's like having a secretary, except that I have to remember to do it, put it in there. If I had a real secretary, then just be listening in.
I got like
Take care of
alarms
that
on my
stuff.
phone for
Yeah, there you
this,
go.
this.
Gotta,
Well, we'll
gotta
go
have
on
it,
until she
gotta
gets
have it.
back to me. All right, MMA Legislature Policy Committee ballot.
Legislative
Do we know
policy
the two
committee.
people that are on here?
Nah, I highly doubt it.
Have they held this position before?
Do you care?
I'm just curious.
I'm just
Just
saying.
trying
Vote
to
for two.
make a decision.
Vote for two, let me see.
And there's two people. Ta-da, Gary and Ethna.
Right?
Ethna.
Might be Ethna too. Yeah, just vote for him. Just vote for him. I mean, you know, honestly, if somebody wants to be on it, Arthur Harvey was on the Legislative Policy Committee at one point. You know, from Hartford, but it's not often that you have somebody from our neck of the woods that is
There we
representing.
go.
And then we get somebody from Jay, and that's probably, you know, as close as
it's gonna be.
close as it's gonna get.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not gonna participate. Legislative Policy Committee, well, you'll learn a little bit about the MMA as time goes on. I gave you some magazines on it,
yes, you did.
and you will have your own copy from now on. Print name, for those who just can't, you just can't read their signature. Unless you saw somebody that you knew and knew was like really like a bad idea. Well, bam, I'll get that money. All right, thank you for that.
And ordinance list 22, 23. Yep, go ahead.
Well, it's obvious the chairman of the ordinance committee didn't even know about some of the ordinances. You may, and we have fees in some that should probably not be in some. At some point, we should probably have them go over all the ordinances, make them uniform. and
Make them
correct.
all consistent. I think consistent is the word you're looking for, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That would be a good idea.
Okay, see if I can find my. I mean, I think I had it in my packet, but to find it.
There's local road, which is next, but I can't, see ordinance.
I don't have a list. It's up to you to create it.
Oh, I thought you
Oh,
were
I gotcha.
suggesting
A
that
list
you had a,
that gives the ordinance
specific
committee
list.
direction.
right, direction for the ordinance committee.
So why don't we give them direction to find the ordinances that
What
have a
were-
fee
what-
structure in
and-
them?
And what were the last ones we were looking at that we didn't get around to? One,
Junkyard. They said they hadn't finished their whole list, but they didn't. They didn't finish the junkyard, and there were others that were assigned to them
so
last year.
was it junkyard or are we just talking about the aesthetics of messy yards?
No, it was
Junkyard.
part of their list.
It was called junkyard, but we're not really talking junkyard because all of the junkyards and automobile recyclers and collectors of, used appliances and stuff like that is all covered by state statute. And that's what our code officer uses in order to enforce on junkyards. Last I knew.
A
we ha-
motion was made to have them work on a junkyard ordinance. That's all I know.
Yeah, but I think, that, my understanding at that time was what people were really concerned about was,
I thought that got shot down.
we had a actual junkyard ordinance at one point, and it was actually repealed at town meeting because the it was basically just copying the state statute, and what was the point? Because the state statute covered automobile graveyards and automobile recycling businesses and people who collect white goods and stuff like that. But I think the junkyard ordinance that was brought up was really to address
Yeah, I'm good for the
certain
19th.
residents.
Leanne,
I'm sorry?
I'm good for the 19th,
18th.
18th, I meant.
Certain there's certain yards,
Yeah.
particularly in the center of town, that are messy. That
Mhm.
people want
And that's
to
what they-
enforce people to clean up their yards as though they lived in a subdivision.
Right. Because aesthetically, like coming through town, there are some houses that have a few things in them.
There's some messy yards. And so my understanding was that the idea of this quote unquote junkyard ordinance was to force people to clean up their yards so that nobody has to look at their stuff or something along that line.
Right. Gotcha.
I've always felt like it's not our place to legislate
Okay,
aesthetics.
last
But-
year, the board, oh, wait a minute, let me look at the next meeting, because it was tabled. July 1st.
So
Ordinances, Kathy motioned to have the ordinance committee work on the following ordinances for the 2002 annual town meeting: junkyard, beach, no spray, administrative, and all committee ordinances. Lori second, all in favor.
would you read that again more slowly?
Kathy motioned to have the ordinance committee work on the following ordinances for the 2022 annual town meeting: junkyard, beach, no spray, administrative, and all committee ordinances. Lori second, all in favor.
So actually.
We did the administrative. already.
Actually administrative, which actually addressed committee ordinances.
Yeah, and we already did the beach
So,
ordinance.
and junkyard, although I be honest with you, I truly believe that what we're really talking about is messy yard ordinance. Not junkyard ordinance, because we already have the state statute where our code officer uses that to
Or
enforce.
they just come and get the permits.
Yeah. Right. Now, whether that's really being enforced or not, like we have Rodney Harlow had
Yeah.
his junkyard permit, and I think he
Town Farm
paid
Road.
for it one time, and I don't know that he's ever paid his, and was that?
You used to get one and paid fee.
I paid a fee at least 1 year and maybe two of them, but then the town repealed their ordinance.
Oh, so that's why he isn't paying.
No, because he had his junkyard under the state law. And I mean, I remember I said to you, sometimes the constable might want to be called in for a particularly contentious hearing. Do you remember? You
Mm,
sat right next to me when Rodney Harlow was in
Yeah.
here and Bill.
Yes. there's
Bill
arguing.
Kennedy and the two abutting owners. Oh my God,
Mhm.
that was quite a time.
Yeah, he's got one started now up on Town Road. It's there by the bridge, up above the bridge.
Yeah, and I've had people complain to me about, he's got that, well, truck or whatever you want to call it, parked really close to the road near the bridge.
Is
like
that on the
right in that
town's
corner.
land?
I think it is in the right of way.
You got something parked all by itself. What is it?
Okay, so I have said, so let's not let ourselves get distracted. Let's talk about the ordinance list. I would like to suggest, I remember coming into an ordinance meeting one night while I was listening to, I'm enough of a nerd on these things that I actually listened to the town of Buckfield live streams,
Mhm.
their meetings. I was actually listening to town of Buckfield had an emergency meeting to talk about having a marijuana ordinance. Now, we don't have anybody in town who's trying to open up a pot shop. There is somebody who wants to have a pot shop in Buckfield. And you know what it looks like in towns where they've said yes. I mean, you look at, say Turner, for
I was gonna
instance.
say, take Turner.
Take Turner, for instance, Wilton. Oh my God, there's so many shops. It's incredible.
It's like three right
Auburn,
next to my Big Apple store there.
whatever, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's more traffic for Big Apple.
It's coming.
Well, no, it's not coming, it's here.
I know, but I
And the
mean,
thing of it is,
at the
thing of it
town.
is, anybody could have pot shops or whatever, unless there is an ordinance in place.
They can't have one.
unless.
And I think having an ordinance in there, there's a reason why, I mean, that's my understanding. Okay, go ahead and pull something out. That's my understanding of why the town of Buckfield is having an emergency meeting, because somebody had every right to open up a pot shop if there wasn't some kind of.
Under the opt-in process of the Adult Use of Marijuana Act, commercial testing, manufacturing, cultivation, and sale of adult use marijuana is by default prohibited until municipalities authorize the activity within the jurisdiction.
Is there anything said there about the medical industry?
No adult use marijuana establishment may obtain an active license to operate unless a municipality.
So this is,
in which the
that,
establishment is
what you're
not-
reading is strictly the adult use rules.
um, right, so
My
then-
personal feeling is that, we don't even have a shop where you can buy
Milk,
a bottle of water, right?
right.
Or beer and
Correct.
cigs or anything. And the idea of having a pot shop seems pretty
Perfect.
ludicrous to me. But that
medical.
said, I know that there are a number of humble farmers here in town who grow cannabis legally and, under medical marijuana rules. And I wouldn't want to see the town do anything to screw with somebody's livelihood.
Ones are up the road.
Farmers, they're all over the place, but that's just my feeling on it anyway.
Okay, so we get them up to stand up to.
So I don't think we did the no spray last year, did we?
We did not, and
No.
this was something that was brought up by citizens. And it was Al, who was here earlier
Yeah.
tonight, who went around with a petition, and he had probably 150 signatures on his petition. I mean, it was huge. People want a no spray ordinance in this town.
I love it.
Now, the no spray, this is for no spray of pesticides, but in particular of the herbicides on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And who would be affected, because the town already doesn't use this on our roads, we know. But who would be affected by this is Central Maine Power and the Maine DOT. And in order to do this, there are some rules around that. And
It says we have to maintain.
well,
The
okay,
brush
among
back,
other, well, we have to keep our brush cut back. We would have to mow, is it 9 or 12 miles,
Additional miles, yeah.
additional miles, and but we don't have to mow it every other year.
Right.
And, but the other thing is that we have to contact the Board of Pesticides Control ahead of this and let them know that this is going to town meeting, let them have a look at it. And so there's a bunch of hoops to jump through.
Yeah.
But, and that's why, you know, well, it actually did pass. It passed with flying colors, but nonetheless, we had, select board had to sit down with the folks from the DOT who basically read us the riot act and told us how this has to be done and explained that, that their spray was completely not harmful and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right, whatever.
Like the herbicides in Korea, because they were just testing the beginning of the stages of Agent Orange.
Yeah, right, yeah. So in any case, so I think the no spray ordinance is important because we know that even though it's been years, that our public wanted it to happen.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so we'll go on to number 9, I think it is. Local Road Assistance Program, LRAP.
Well, we're going on, but are we done with just no spray in junkyard
Yes, Sue.
and consistency?
Fees.
We don't
I just have a quick comment about the no spray thing.
Fees.
Go ahead.
And who is speaking?
Oh, this is Natasha. Cody.
Yes.
I wish it could be, we could expand the no spray to the main roads, but I guess from my understanding, it's because when it's on a state road, the state still maintains it. So
If we
can't
haven't,
expand that at this time.
yeah, however, if we have an ordinance that changes everything.
Okay, yeah, because I put up no spray signs because my roads
Yes.
still get sprayed.
Any individual can put up no spray signs, but if you have not entered into an agreement with the DOT, then they might or might not respect your signs.
Yeah, they've honored it so far.
But in any case, this would basically mean that the town would enter into no spray agreement with them. And in order to enter into that agreement, that we would be required to mow those
Town lines.
those town roads, but we'd only be required to mow them every other year, just to keep the brush back.
Oh, so we
That's how they
haven't,
spray.
I thought we already did that, but we haven't yet.
We do the back
Not on
roads.
state roads. We don't mow
Oh,
state
okay.
roads.
I get it. Thank
We leave
you.
the state roads to the state for the most part, except of course, as soon as the first flake flies, because the state tosses them back to us.
Gotcha.
And they
Thank
give us some local roads assistance program monies, and that is to be used on local roads. And supposedly it's sort of the trade-off for we plow the roads and they give us this money, but it nowhere near comes up to the amount of money per mile it costs us to plow state roads. And
Okay.
that's just that.
Local Road Assistance Program, LRAP.
Speaking of which,
I'll fill out the seats, I guess. Tim has reviewed it.
Had to or hasn't?
has
Oh.
signatures or signature. Oh yeah, there you go. Right here. Sign and date. Actually, 4 potentially.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
New private road,
I
Stoneview
don't think I have to
Drive.
Sign it, there's only 2. Oh, over here, darn.
New private road name, Stoneview Drive.
So Warren Shaw asked asking to assign a house number on the building that used to be a nonprofit because their parents are living there now. So I went out to measure for an address and discovered that they're on the same driveway. So that driveway-
Yeah, and, that's a little problematic all by
The
itself.
CEO has been out there, they have a new septic system, separate septic system, the CEO, according to the Shaws, has approved that to be home.
Okay. Well,
I
as,
haven't actually talked to Scott.
no, it's probably in our ordinance, I mean, our permit list. But I wasn't clear on that, and that's why I said it could be problematic, because when they came to us and asked
I know.
if they could put you remember that far back, okay? Because yeah, I can't always remember about when you were gone and when you were, but,
What did they say back when they set up the road?
oh, well, they didn't set up a road, that's the thing. It's just a private driveway.
Yeah.
But when they said they had a property on Berry Road.
Okay.
You've been by it more times than you can count. And they put a double wide on it in order to have a nonprofit school for
Oh, I know where it
troubled
is, yeah.
children who could come and pat the ponies. Maybe ride too, I don't know, I think it was mostly pat.
Yeah.
But they had miniature horses, so basically, and kids with issues came to pat the ponies.
Yeah,
Oh, horses. Don't ever let somebody with miniature horses catch you calling them ponies. Right, Leanne?
I don't care.
Well, some people are fussy about it. In any case, at that time, they wanted to put this double wide in, but they only had a small septic system. And the idea was that it was really not going to be, there's no sleeping facilities in there or anything like that.
because it was
gonna
a
be-
portable classroom they bought.
It was a
and put up
portable,
there.
it was basically a portable classroom, right? And now their
What a surprise.
their parents are living there. I mean, yeah, what a surprise.
What a surprise.
And, but they did put in a new septic. And that was my issue was,
What a
whoa, what about septic? But she says that there's a new septic there.
So why would it be called Stoneview Drive versus Stoneview Way, since it's not a town road?
So drive and way and
And lane.
lane are all private. Street, road,
Oh,
street and
That's
road,
what they suggest. for the name.
street and road are public ways.
gotcha.
And of course, they'd have to have a sign, and it should be a sign that is blue rather than green with white letters.
Yeah.
It should be blue with white letters.
Okay,
Stoneview. Which stones
on
do you
the
suppose they're viewing?
Garden Drive, I get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're drive.
I
It's
get
a
it.
private road.
Yeah.
So, and frankly, I don't care what they call their driveway.
Me neither.
I mean, you come right down to it.
Okay. Appointments.
I know.
No, we gotta
motion.
make a motion to
Oh.
accept this.
Make a motion, we accept the Stoneview Drive private road name.
I second it. All in favor? Good. Okay, appointments and resignation. So one appointment would be for our fire warden.
Okay, so I move, I nominate Baxter Tardif of Town Farm Road for fire warden.
I suppose last name
Tardif.
T-A.
Hang on a second, I've got it in my phone. Let me see if.
Probably Tardif, that's right.
I think it might have two. Some of the times they have two Fs. That's retarded. I have two Fs here, but I'm not certain
Yeah,
that
okay.
it's two Fs.
So I
I
second that
think, I
nomination.
think that that there's two Tardifs. One's on the sort of kitty corner across the road from one another. and One is
Mhm.
with a single F and one is with two Fs, if I remember right.
Is he a registered
know which
voter
one
here
is
in the
what.
town of Hartford?
All in favor?
Can we look it up?
I believe so.
Good. Do we have any more?
Does that matter?
She just wants to know if it has two Fs or not. She doesn't care if he votes or how he votes.
Okay, the only other one is the
Didn't care.
constable, which we haven't
Yeah.
decided yet.
I think we need to,
One F.
One F.
One
there's a
F, there you go. So I will change it in my phone right now.
Do you have a phone number, a public phone number for him, or should I just wait and get it from him?
I have a phone number for him that was given to me by Mr. Vaughn, Jason Vaughn of the Canton Fire Department, and that is 207-330-8465.
I'll make sure it's okay to publicize that.
Good.
All right. Any training?
Is there any training?
That was the
Is
next thing.
that the only appointment you're doing?
I think so. 'Cause we ain't got constable.
Well, there's,
I
Any
am
more?
damn disappointed to hear that. I was hoping you were gonna nominate Larry Giroux.
I want to, but
planning
he
board.
has not gotten back to me on whether he's gonna do it or not. He didn't say no.
On the planning board?
Yeah, that's what I asked him
I'm
to do.
tempted to put it, sorry, I was going after mosquito here.
Yeah.
No.
I'll go
we
hit
need
him.
an
hit
alternate
up
for the planning board,
this
we
week.
need
I just saw the email.
Nice
regular
job.
members for the planning board, alternate for the appeals board,
Right.
we need ordinance committee members.
Yeah, something, I contacted Michelle McGray on that, and I haven't heard back from her either, so I
Appeals
will,
board.
We have more
What was
follow-ups.
the other one?
yeah.
It's written, you have a list and they're all highlighted.
Oh.
Michelle McGray.
Okay, I see.
I'll have you guys sign these, this is. Because you guys are actually the fire warden at town meeting, so you have to sign that and then appoint it to me.
Whew. I don't have to prove any more of those permits. I had a fire all the time. Just like it.
These also need to be signed because we didn't sign them last meeting.
I'm tempted to just assign,
I'm not,
Michelle
please.
McGray
Oh.
and let her say no. She doesn't want to, because she was last year.
You gotta sign all
Very
these.
tempting
Three.
when
There's three
somebody
on the ministerial board.
expires after a year.
Yeah.
Alternate times expire after a year. Just tell me to sign them and reappoint them. And
Yeah,
I'll take the blank ones. Well, get confused.
and I didn't have a list of who was on it right now.
Oh,
and somebody
emergency
asked me that
management.
question.
Don't
that's
sign
it.
that one, it's not
Oh.
filled out. I don't know if you wanna try Dan or not.
Where is it?
So what Dan, I don't know if I already said this, but he emailed back, I can make an attempt to perform this position, but if the people in the town are dissatisfied with my role duties, then I would definitely step aside, especially if someone else has greater knowledge or experience. Sent that during the meeting.
I move we nominate Dan LaRochelle as health, we're talking health officer, no, emergency
Emergency.
management. Emergency management.
Great idea.
director.
I second that nomination.
All in favor? Yep. Good.
I don't.
Oh, good.
You just nominate and vote. I believe that is the case.
James.
Yeah, it's like,
I
it's
thought
got,
Peggy was on the
it's-
planning board.
she's a
Oh, yeah,
chamber.
okay.
Why, what's the problem?
I don't see her name on here.
Margaret Matthews.
Oh,
chairman.
Margaret. I'm looking for Peggy.
I see you are. Well, Peg or Peggy is a
Gotcha.
common nickname for Margaret.
I've never known a Peggy till now.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I'll be damned.
Margaret's called Maggie or Meg.
Well, don't ask me where the peg comes from, but that's the way it
Yeah.
is. It is. They tell me if I didn't know. So little dog was tied up all day. And about 40 minutes of play and happiness, although I was busy the whole time. And then she gets stuck in the back of the car.
What are you looking for Larry?
Planning board.
Okay, we need some lawyer types on the ordinance committee.
I will, he wanted to know who else was on it, and I caught him when he was on his bike, and he wasn't really, said I would get back to him.
He used to work for AvCog.
He sure did.
Strikes me as somebody, and lives on Bear Pond, strikes me as someone who is like, you know, from what I know of him, he's a stand-up guy.
He's been-
Strikes me as good planning board material.
He is very active in BIPIA, Bear Pond Improvement Association.
It's the first time I've ever heard anybody pronounce the acronym.
Yeah.
Can you all sign this?
Oh, okay. There you go, you just put your John Hancock on you. Oh,
And he is retired, which gives him a little more time.
right, no, he's a
And he's not
stand-up.
climbing trees anymore. He's an arborist, so
He's no longer doing, no longer climbing trees. He doesn't do trees?
very, no, he does do some trees, but he doesn't do the big sectional trees he used to do.
Oh,
He
yeah.
took one down for my mom that got hit by lightning. Scariest thing ever. You know, one guy
Oh my
climbing
God.
up with those shoes and
I had
piece
a
after
nephew,
piece.
nephew-in-law, I guess if there's such a thing, who would do that stuff. Unfreaking believable. I had an ash tree that was 4 feet across at this dump. And it was split right down. And whenever it would storm, you'd hear the thing going. It probably wouldn't have fallen down for a long time.
Do
But
we have any
my
training?
God, that was one scary tree.
Yeah.
I
This
was
is an
thinking
old
that-
book of people who signed up to
Well, I
volunteer.
had
It's really
Scott
old.
come over for all the trees I had cut last summer. My brothers and I. One, my
Stop.
Mills. Where's Scott Powers anyway? What?
You had Scott Powers on there.
Because I was,
Somebody you
I
work with or
met,
something.
right, I met with a guy, one of my vendors is Scott Powers.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, so when you
I
point
was
out,
like-
I'm going, looking, I'm going, oh, that's not his last name. I just met with Scott. on a
Yes.
conference call.
This is really old, I guess it is.
What is this?
Book of volunteers, people who sign up to volunteer. On committees.
Dan LaRochelle, look at this. This is back in 08. Look at all the things he was willing, any other safety, any other committee, public safety, medical health. Here you go. Zeb Lalaman, of course, doesn't no longer lives here. Zeb?
Very helpful.
Okay. Mhm.
That's it, I guess. So we don't have no training.
No, I sent an email out to the planning board and appeals board, but appeals board, planning board, but I haven't heard back yet.
Okay.
And review correspondence.
I think it's in your packet.
Yep. bid.
This one for me, municipal, that one. So something different.
Oxford County email, did I give it to you?
I'm just seeing that.
No, I have one copy, I can make copies.
Yeah, sorry.
That's probably something that would go to the emergency management director.
Jimmy Hamilton, I think, is pretty solidly over it at this point.
Let's see, we was adjourned. Almost 10 o'clock.
And John Dudley is on the Board of Appeals.
Making a motion that we adjourn. 10 o'clock.
I think you can just adjourn. I don't think you actually.
Do we have a new constable or maintenance person as of tonight?
No,
Nope, we reviewed applicants.
we've made a date to have, to interview. And that is gonna
On the
be
eight-
on
on the
Monday,
eight-
the 18th.
On the 18th, okay, thank you.
Look at that.
Did you want to see it?
No,
I just read it.
Oh, you did.
Thank you.
No second. We adjourn.
I second that.
There you go.
I second that
All in favor?
emotion.
Don Perone is on the planning board. Don Perone is on the planning board. Larry Levesque does in fact no longer live in this town, I believe. Maybe not, maybe I'm mistaken, but pretty sure that Larry Levesque is the brother to Fred Thompson,